What's up, Gordons? All right, how's it going, everyone? Can everybody hear me okay? As you can see, I'm in a little bit different location here. So hopefully this whole setup is working good. I'm live in the Lolo Overland showroom. I'm not seeing Adventure Two Wheels. How's it going, man? All right, looks like I got comments coming up. So, all right, happy Sunday,
They're saying
everybody.
A little bit louder. Is that blocking the mic anywhere?
Good, but
Louder on the Instagram or louder on the
Instagram, yeah.
Okay. How's the volume on the YouTube live, guys? Cheers from Ohio. Jacqueline, how are you? Sean Squatch, how's it going, my man?
what's up, Sean?
All right, so real quick, while everybody's getting on here, first of all, I just want to say happy Sunday. Thank you guys all for joining us. We're chilling out here in the showroom, so real quick, man, what I would like to do is I'd just like to have everybody who's in the showroom right now walk around behind me so everybody can see you guys. So obviously we've got my brother Daniel from Lolo, Josh from Lolo, Mike D back there. Mike D was along on the last trip, and Lauren, or as sometimes he likes to be preferred called Warren. So we've got a little bit of a crew here. So I just wanted you guys to get a chance to say hi to everyone.
Thank you, guys. How you doing?
Thank you for putting up with that. So a couple of things out of the gate, a couple of business items. As always, guys, I just want to say thank you up front for any of the super chats, any of the contributions to the PayPal donate link. Just as a reminder, as you guys know, that's the biggest support for my channel is the super chat revenue, those PayPal direct donations, the merchandise sales through my brothers up here at Lolo Overland. So just want to say thanks up front to that. Tonight, I've got a couple of guests that are going to be on talking, so I may not get a chance to kind of break off and acknowledge you guys as your comments and stuff are coming through. A couple of things I do want to say is Lolo Overland has a brand new website launched, and on that website is the long-awaited Coyote Den, Coyote Corner on there. So check out that new website. And Daniel, what's the URL?
CampLolo.com.
CampLolo.com. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but what should they do, Daniel? Real quick, man, don't go away. What should they do when they want to buy stuff off the Coyote Den?
Well, they should not forget to enter your code Coyote for 5% off all your savings. And if you spend $100, you're going to get a free Coyote Works t-shirt.
So remember that, guys. Remember the code. That's really important. And Daniel always gives me a hard time because I forget to tell you guys about that. So, but 5% off everything on your card if you use the promo code Coyote. So, what else am I missing business-wise? Was there anything we needed to get out of the way?
Oh, yeah. We got a big one coming.
Oh, man. We got Coyote Works patches coming in. So, initial order, we only have 100 of them coming, so watch for those. Do you know when they're going to land?
Right now on CampLolo.com.
You can order Coyote Works patches right now on CampLolo.com. So, do you have an image of them? Do you know what they're
on there.
going to look like? Oh, they're on there. Cool.
We can show them on somebody's phone if you want. Or if you go to Camp Lolo, you can see it. But we don't want them to leave now. But
No, but
Here, I can pull one up.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's show them. Oh, check this out.
Well, there you go. Someone's saying if you can turn your volume a little bit up on YouTube as well.
My volume on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a couple comments about that.
Uh-oh. I don't know that I can, man. All right, how's that? I'll move the mic a little bit closer. Hopefully that's a little bit better.
If all else fails, you can just unplug that external.
And just go with the onboard. Let me just try something real quick. So first of all, can somebody just leave a comment and tell me, okay, volume is fine on YouTube for me, sounds good on my end. Okay, so I've got like 3 people commenting that they like the volume on YouTube. So guys, what I wanted to talk to you about tonight, and this is kind of a cool thing because we've got a good crew up here. We've got Josh from Lolo and Daniel up here. So one thing that I wanted to talk about this evening, and this is something that is probably the #1 question that I get, is from people who are not always people that are newer to overlanding and car camping, but it has to do with prioritizing gear. When people are new, usually what the question is, hey, we want to get into car camping, we want to get into overlanding. What should we spend our money on first, or what's kind of the most critical things for us to invest our money in? And most people, don't have unlimited money to work with. So they have to make some choices about gear. So I wanted to grab Josh because Josh has got like a lifetime of experience, not only on his own about camping and overlanding and stuff, but also running the shop and interfacing with other guys. And then, of course, you guys know what my background is. So without further ado, I'm going to grab Josh, and we're going to spend some time talking about some of the highest value, highest priority pieces of gear for car camping, and then we'll probably talk a little bit about vehicle modifications too. So, Josh,
Let me climb on in here.
all right. So we might have to project a little bit. Do you
Yeah.
like that camera angle?
Let's do ask them what they
Tilt-
can hear you all well.
Tilt that up.
That looks good.
Okay. All right.
Except for your mic's poking in there a little bit. But that's all right.
Oh, we got that fuzzy little mic
Just a little-
right
there we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, so Josh, real quick, for those of you that don't know, Josh is the owner of Lolo Overland Outfitters, and I've been actually with you guys pretty close to the beginning. We
I
met.
mean, kind of where we met was our kind of debut and launch, and that was at Northwest Overland Rally 2019.
Yeah.
And that's where we connected up, and after that was kind of all fell right into place. So
Yeah, so these guys, for those of you that don't know, they've been kind of my go-to gear shop and vehicle mods. They've done, literally since we started working together, have done everything that I've done to my vehicle, and I think every new piece of gear that I've added to my system since then has come from you
Absolutely.
guys and your shop. And one of the first things that I was really impressed with when I ran into these guys up at Northwest Overland when I walked into their booth was, and I remember even telling Josh this at that time, was that you guys had done a really good job of assembling some really good quality gear. Like, I'm a big believer in, when you do buy gear, buy good stuff.
Yep.
And just the brands, the selection of brands and everything was all good quality stuff. So what we wanted to talk about a little bit today was, kind of some of the highest priority pieces of gear and some of the highest priority vehicle modifications for overlanding. Like, the question that I get a lot is, especially from people who are kind of newer to the game, and they'll ask about, hey, some variation of, hey, we've got a 4Runner, we've got a Tacoma, or we've got a Jeep, we want to start overlanding. What should we get first? So I want to break this up a little bit to
Okay.
keep us somewhat on track. So do you want to start with gear or vehicle modifications?
I would probably say gear,
Okay.
and I'll explain why if you want to
Okay.
dive right into it.
Yeah,
So,
let's do it.
yeah, right away, I think most importantly, you want to dial in a few pieces of gear before you start modifying your vehicle. Now, it really depends on what your goals are, what you're kind of going after. Are you doing some hardcore off-road trails? Or are you just hitting those Forest Service roads, hoping to get a little bit of adventure and find some dispersed camping out there? So, before any vehicle modifications, number one thing I'm going to start looking at is making sure you're prepared to go out there in the woods by yourself and you have the right gear for that. So, starting off, I would say number one thing is a first aid kit. Very simple. Everyone should have one of those, and we got them here at Lolo.
Yep. So basic first aid kit would be one of the first things, and I really like, and I agree 100%. I really like the mindset of get out there a little bit. Generally, vehicle modifications are going to be are going to start costing you a lot more than your gear
Absolutely,
purchases.
yes.
And so I think, a lot of what that process is making sure that the vehicle modifications you make are ones that you need and want and will get value out of. So that whole idea of getting out there and getting some experience first is top notch.
Absolutely. Figure out, what your style is, where you want to go, how you're going to be, operating, and then start dialing your gear. So, number one is safety. So, first aid kit for sure, number one.
Yep. And what would you say next, Josh? So you got your first aid kit.
So, after that, I think it's the essentials to kind of, for your own self. So, some water. That's really important. So, a good either water filtration system or a way to carry, already filtered water or some bottled water in the rig. At the very least, throw, 6 bottles of bottled water in a backpack, and you're good to go.
Definitely.
That's the very least, yeah. So after that, I would say a good like prepped bug out bag, something with some food, some way to start a fire, some way to keep warm, maybe an extra set of socks or clothes. You know, those things that are really going to get wet if you get stuck in the snow, get stuck in the mud, and you got to hike out of there. A good pack with a few necessities is really important.
One thing I like to think about a lot, and I was just talking to Mike a little bit before this about this, is really just thinking about like what is it that you're going to do out there, and then backfill the gear into that. And I think one thing that I noticed that a lot of people have the propensity to do is to overcomplicate it and take way more than they actually need, or think that they need way more gear than they actually do to go outside. And one of the things that I think about a lot is like to dip your toes in the water. Like just think about this. Think about you have a nice lunch at home on a Saturday afternoon, you know, noon, 1 o'clock, eat a big lunch at home, and then take off out in the woods to go camping for the night. And then the next day you're going to come home in the early afternoon. So really you think about it, and all you need to do is you need something for dinner, you need something to sleep in, something to keep you warm, you know, but you can really break it down. And in my opinion, you can really make it much simpler when you think about, okay, what is my trip going to look like? What happens, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing, is I think a lot of times what we think about is we start thinking about, what if this happens? What if this happens?
Yes.
You know, and you start, you know, what if it rains? Do I have this kind of gear? And while to a degree that kind of thinking is good, what I see is most of us go way too far with it.
Absolutely.
And we
I know I've way overcomplicated my gear, and through the years, I've been slowly simplifying all of that and a smaller and smaller kit each time.
Yeah.
And it makes life easier packing, getting in the camp, setting up. Having a more simplistic setup and knowing what you really need really dials in your time and your energy usage out there. So
yeah, the something else, and you've probably seen this a lot, and to a degree, it's a lot of times part of the journey too. But one thing I think about is most, you know, major pieces of gear, usually the very first one you buy isn't necessarily going to be the one that you're going to keep and use forever. So I think one thing is, you know, when you're first getting started, just get something. Start with something.
Just get your foot in the door, get some of the basic necessities, and get out there and figure it out a little bit.
Don't, again, it's easy to overcomplicate it, but you know you need a sleeping bag to sleep in. Yeah, if you want, you can spend weeks and weeks and weeks researching all the different sleeping bags and fabrics and everything, but at the end of the day, probably whatever you buy, you're going to change your mind after you camp a few times and want something different. So,
and everyone's different, so you can't really tell someone this one's going to work for you. You really got to get out there and use it.
Yeah, definitely. So I think thinking about the basics, your shelter, your shelter, your, you know, a camp stove, something to cook off of.
Yeah, simple as a jet boil and some Mountain House meals. That's a really simple way to go.
One thing I think really has helped me with vehicle camping, vehicle-based camping over the years, is thinking about some of the same concepts as backpacking and bushcraft. So like, you know, and kind of more of a survivalist bushcraft style of camping, like literally you can go out in the woods with a Mountain House meal and a metal pot, something you can cook in, a good knife, an axe, you know, some real basic gear. But what that taught me was, it taught me that you really don't need very much to be able to enjoy it out there.
Absolutely.
So kind of apply that same logic backwards to the vehicle and say, okay, what's kind of the least amount of stuff that I need to enjoy it out there?
And it's going to make that experience much more enjoyable that way, you know?
Yeah.
So that's some very good topics, and you could dive really deep into that, but I think just the necessities for safety, and then after that, it's each individual kind of wants and needs.
Really like your call on the packed kind of a bug out bag. I think that's essential for any vehicle that goes in the backcountry, is to have everything assembled in one package. You know, so I was actually checking out, you guys have some really cool gear bags and stuff in here. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Just a simple backpack can do it, or even something smaller than that.
Yep. So I'm curious, Josh, we didn't get a chance to talk much about this, but I know you've been going out camping and kicking around in the hills like all your life, like me, and but over here on this side of the mountains, and for the most part. But can you think of a couple of pieces of gear over the years that, well, let's start with this one.
Okay.
A couple of pieces of gear, if you can think of any that you wish you would have never spent money on.
All right, I'm gonna have to think about that one. I've bought way too much lighting. I'm a nut for lighting. I've bought some flashlights that were just useless, and rope lights and things like that. So I can get a little excessive on lighting, and that's just a gadget nerd out thing. That's a tough question, because I know I've stripped down my gear, but I'm trying to think of what big pieces were really just like non-essential at all.
And that's what I was kind of thinking about. That was
Yeah.
a gear that like you carried for a long time, and then eventually realized that it was just taking up space. And
I think stoves was a big one. I used to carry like the full size, portable Weber.
oh yeah,
And then slowly I got to the Coleman, and now I've downsized to a single burner and a jet boil. So definitely you can get overboard with cooking. I see guys out there at the big camp chef setups or big griddles. And that's great if you're going out big group camp and you guys are going to, make a big breakfast or something like that. But for what we're doing, I think something that you can fit into a small box, have all your camping, cooking gear right there.
yeah,
That's the way to go.
yeah. How about I think about like there's a lot of pieces of gear that it's there's not necessarily one specific brand or model. Like for example, stoves, camp stoves is something that for me, a 2-burner camp stove doesn't matter if it's a Camp Chef or a Coleman or a Covea.
As long as it heats up and does what you need it to do, yeah, absolutely.
But are there have you stumbled across any pieces of gear out there where there was one very specific model or piece of gear that was just that's become like a go-to or a game changer piece of gear for you? Like I know one for me is that Ready Light.
Yeah. Oh, the Ready Light's probably, I tell it to people all the time. That's probably one of my favorite pieces of gear. It does so much. It's the first thing I pull out when I'm in camp. It's the last thing I pack up.
Yep.
And it's really low maintenance. I've never even plugged mine into the wall. I just let it charge in camp, and by the time I get up and get packed up, it's ready to rock. So that's a huge one. I really like the Ready Lights. Besides that, one that I've it took me a while to get into it, but ever since I've gotten one, I can't turn away from it, and that's the Garmin InReach.
Yeah.
And especially not just for the ease of communications or emergency situations, but just trying to link up with, like, if we're meeting up somewhere and someone's a little bit late or we take the long road, it's really easy to communicate back and forth with that. Even more so than sometimes some like ham radio communications and stuff like that. So that's kind of an expensive piece of gear that I've really fallen in love with.
I would have to say that I second that one too, and that I also feel like every once in a while there's a piece of gear that is expensive, but it almost doesn't matter what it costs, the value that it brings, and like what you said, like I've ham radios. In fact, I just recently got my my ham license, so so I've been using them a little bit more. But like the Garmin InReach, the reliability and I haven't yet had a situation where the Garmin InReach didn't have comms.
Absolutely, yep.
And I even stepped up and did like there's I think the basic plan is like what, $14 or $12 a month.
Yeah, it's 12 or
something.
14 for that one.
And then I even stepped up and did the $40 plan just because being able to communicate via text message while I'm out there is such a godsend. Like,
yeah,
I mean that's been
it's
one
been a
of those,
lifesaver.
Yeah,
It really has. And then the peace of mind of knowing that you can hit that SOS button at any time.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to get some help pretty quick out there. So that's a big like peace of mind insurance thing to me.
Yeah.
Besides that, just having some GPS maps on there. If you have other friends with Garmin's, you can see on your map where they're at, which is a really cool feature. Or if I'm out there and I don't have service and the wife's curious where I'm at, or I've been dragging on getting back to her, she can pull up on the website where I'm at any time, which could be a bad thing too. What's that, Daniel?
Wii Boost.
The Wii Boost. Yeah, that's a good point. So the Garmin's absolutely like the go-to communication device if I have no service. But If you haven't heard of the WeBoost, they're pretty sweet. So it's basically just a cell phone booster. And we were just in camp 2 nights ago. None of us had any service at all. I flipped the switch on, and right away I had full LTE with Verizon, and that was
Wow.
pretty big. So I was able to, shoot just random regular texts. I could download media and pull up maps. So that's not something I would rely on always. It's kind of a nice added benefit if you're out there. But if you're someone that wants to work remotely or runs a business and needs to handle things on the go, the WeBoost has a lot of value.
I wonder if that would help. I wonder if that would. I don't want to get us too far off
Yeah.
topic, but I was just thinking as you were talking about that. I wonder. Sometimes I struggle a little bit. I want to do my camp talks out in the field
Yep.
sometimes, mainly because it's hard for me to make it back into town in time to get ready for them and everything. But sometimes I'm in that spot where I've got like 2 bars,
And
and it's just not quite enough for reliable.
that's where the WeBoost
streaming.
really excels. If you have any hint of service, it's going to boost that service. Now, sometimes you have 0 service, it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
But I've been surprised. I've been in some spots where I had nothing, turn it on, and I had really good service. So
That's pretty cool.
technology's come a long ways in the last couple of years. And it's exciting to see how, this industry is evolving. I think there's going to be a lot more products that kind of help with comms and getting,
Yeah.
digital media. So what we got Starlink coming, that could be a
Yeah.
big game changer. I
Yeah.
can see a lot of people leaving the office and working remotely after that hits.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. So as far as gear goes, I think, basically it's interesting that we didn't really get a chance to talk about this before being live with you guys, but it sounds like, we all go through real similar evolution with our gear, and basically, the more what I find is the more experience you get, the more you tend to keep it simpler. And so I think the big thing, from us is that if there's a message, it's just don't overcomplicate it. When it comes to your camping gear, like think about what you're going to do, backfill the gear you need to do that, and take as little extra. I still about once a year kind of go through all the gear in my rig and really ask myself if there's a piece of gear in there that I haven't touched in the entire year that has been in my vehicle, then I'm asking myself the question, does this really need to be in here? And pairing stuff out. I mean, we're guys and we like gear, so you're always adding stuff in there, and it just seems like over time your rig just gets fuller. But
especially working here, I see all these cool gadgets every day and lots of cool equipment. It's hard not to grab everyone. Oh, you got a hand over here, Daniel. Yes.
someone in our live
Do
studio
you wanna
audience
come in
has a
and talk?
question.
I just want to say something real quick about all the gear and stuff.
Yeah. Come on in.
Oh, come around where they
Just
can
want to
see.
put my head in a
Man.
little bit.
Yeah.
That's why you get a van.
Oh, so you can fit a lot of gear in it.
Man. That's all I had to say.
Okay. All right.
You guys have any thoughts on that, or?
I'm just jealous, so I'm gonna say some mean
I'll trade
stuff
you straight
if you want.
across. It's not
Yeah.
a big deal, dude. Your new JL. I'll take that.
Van life is pretty
I've
sweet.
been trying to simplify my, my setup too, so I might downsize into a JL.
Yeah.
Maybe
How's that
rock
rooftop
boat.
tent?
It's beautiful. Thank you, Coyote Works, for putting that crowd out of my ear.
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. It was well worth it. So we talked about gear, man.
Yes.
But what if the other thing that is, I think we all have to think about is vehicle modifications, and
It's a dark, long road.
isn't it? Isn't it? And this is one in particular where I feel like the amount of money that you can get tied up in your vehicle and in modifying your vehicle, this is where the numbers start going up exponentially.
More than you
really,
paid for the vehicle. Yeah.
really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And but it's also the place where I think, like, one thing I think about is I think about when you're buying gear and equipment for camping, like every dollar that you spend, what's the gain that you're getting for that dollar, right? And so a lot of things, like if you spend $100 on a nice Covea camp stove, for example, you're probably going to use that on almost every single trip, right? Or like a Ready Light, you spend a couple $100 on a Ready Light, you're going to use that every single time you go out.
Absolutely.
Like Josh was saying, I never set up a camp that my Ready Light doesn't get set up first. When you get into your vehicle modifications, though, that's where things get interesting, because you might spend $4,000 on bumpers and a winch that you use once every 3 years.
Absolutely.
So, what are some of your thoughts on on maybe what modifications do you absolutely need,
Mhm.
if any, to start enjoying the woods, and then what are some of kind of what would you start spending your money on? What are some of the first vehicle modifications that you would make?
Okay, that's there's a lot of ways you can go with that because it really depends on what you're going to use that vehicle for, what your skill level is, and what you're trying to accomplish with that vehicle. I think first of all, with any vehicle that you're going to take off on Forest Service roads or anywhere remote, I'd say the first thing I'm going to go through is making sure that vehicle is dependable, that all your services are up to date, that there's no weird noises, nothing that's close to failing. Take care of all those issues first. Next thing is going to be a set of tires. I mean, a bad set of tires could just kill the trip. And you put a good set of tires on there with some good tread, you're going to be able to go a lot of places. You'd be surprised. I started off with a stock Subaru a long time ago. I took that thing places it never should have gone, flattened the exhaust on it, and yeah, it really comes down to what you're going to do with it and start slow. So I'd say tires is number one as far as vehicle modifications go. If you leave the service out of it, it's tires.
And I would agree 100%.
Mhm.
I feel like, there's quite a few stock vehicles out there that'll get you to a lot of places.
Yeah. If you have some decent ground clearance, all
Yeah.
you need is a good set of tires.
Yeah, but tires are generally the weakest point on a
Mhm.
vehicle that hasn't been set up for that. So I would say, it's also something. I mean, good tires aren't necessarily cheap
No.
either. So when you're talking about spending money on your rig, like to me, that's one of the first places that I would put money is put a good set of skids on that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Another big one that I'm always recommending to people if you're just setting up your rig and you're getting out there, rock sliders are really important. That's going to protect your vehicle. Even if you don't have the ground clearance to get through some sections, rock sliders are going to help you get through there without any body damage. So
And what about like skid plates?
that's
like
what I was going to follow that
undercarriage
up with.
progression?
Just to go right along with the rock sliders are going to be skid plates. And it depends on the vehicles too. I mean, if you're taking a Subaru out there, first thing I'm going to do is some decent tires and skid plates. Rock sliders, there's not a lot of good options for those. Whereas if you're getting into a Tacoma or a 4Runner or something like that, rock sliders would be the first modification I would do, absolutely.
What about like? So it's funny you're hitting some of the exact same things that in a real similar order that I would think about it too. A couple other things I think about is like if you want to go far, like one thing that a lot of modern vehicles, especially the kind of size of vehicles a lot of people choose for overlanding and stuff, don't have a lot of range.
Mhm.
So I feel like extra fuel storage and extra water storage.
That's probably one of the questions we get the most here is, how do I get more fuel on my vehicle or how do I carry more water on my vehicle? And there's actually not that many options. You would think there would be a lot of them, but there's not a lot.
It surprises me, considering like I need extra fuel on almost every trip I go on, living out in Eastern Oregon and in that big a country out there. And it really surprises me how few options there are for, commercially prefabricated fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
now.
Yep. Basically, what you got out there is you've got your roto packs, which are going to be super low profile, easy to manage, quick to mount, and those are a plastic container. Then you've got your traditional jerry cans, a little bit more bulky, but you're going to get more fuel storage, super rugged and dependable. And then if you want to go the next step, you can do an auxiliary fuel tank on there, and that gets to be a little bit more pricey. But that's a solid solution to kind of free up some rack space or some storage space in the vehicle. And really, besides that, there's a few other little, reservoir options and some other tanks out there, but there's not a lot of other solutions out there besides rotopacks, jerry cans, and auxiliary fuel tanks.
We're getting a bunch of activity on here. A lot of people, obviously, of course, mentioning as Coyote Works fans. Of
What
course,
is that?
they're mentioning
Fire's not something you really got to worry about. I mean,
Yeah,
we've never really had a problem.
Yeah, neither of you guys have had an issue with that, right?
No, we both have Jeeps and they're fine.
You know, that's a really solid point, Daniel.
It
is
is.
that you got two guys right here that both had Jeeps that have burned,
Mhm.
that have caught on fire here.
That actually is a really good point. Going back to gear, another first necessity right there. And actually, you know, if you're going out on some of the OHV trails in Oregon, this is actually a requirement. You got to have a fire extinguisher and you got to have a shovel with you. And those are going to be very beneficial if you have a fire, for one. Two, the shovel has a lot of usages, from, you know, the fire pit, the bathroom, getting yourself out of a recovery situation. A lot of things there. So definitely grab yourself a shovel and a fire extinguisher.
So
Definitely a cheap vehicle add-on.
yeah,
It is a very inexpensive add-on, and can save you a lot of money. Trust
and
me.
small. What are those little element fire extinguishers?
Yeah, let me grab that real
like
quick.
like now I've got one of those in the truck and one of those in
These-
the Jeep.
These things are a game changer. This fire extinguisher is about the equivalent of, let me remind myself here, what is that, a 5 pounds?
It's just 5 times.
It's 5 times the amount of a 5-pound bottle.
25 pounds,
Is it 25 pounds?
5 times 5.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Lawrence, our mathematician here.
Yeah. But these are awesome. They go quite a bit longer. They go for 50 seconds, and super easy to store, compact. It hits all classifications of fire types, so A, B, C, and K. These are awesome. They're a little spendy, but trust me, you want one.
But coming back to that, not having your vehicle full of kit, that I really like those just because of the size and the what is that?
That's hot.
I'm just saying, to avoid getting your Jeep on a T-shirt.
I don't want my Jeep on a t-shirt, thanks.
You know what's crazy about this? This is your Jeep and then just his name. Okay, that's how I designed it.
Is
We
it?
both had
I knew it was gonna happen.
2013s.
No.
They look the same.
Hey, but just a quick reminder, if you guys like this shirt and you want to donate to Coyote Works' new JL he's going to get real soon.
After I make them real jealous.
Yeah.
JLS.
Did you drive yours down here?
Oh yeah, I had to.
Okay, so all right, we're
You
gonna
get
check
one of these
that out.
free with every order over $100. Just got to use a Coyote Works
That
code.
T-shirt is free.
If you order $100
$100
worth of gear and you put the code Coyote in there, you get this bub for free. So you can sport and support my brother Coyote.
Like I say, man, I appreciate that. Those merch sales really help me out, by the way. Hey, so real quick, a couple of rapid fire things. One, so you started talking about the fire extinguisher, but in my mind, I think about when I was growing up, we used to always call it like a basic Pioneer kit or whatever that you'd have in your rig. And so what I was thinking about, Josh, was, you know, what are those kind of, you know, rapid fire? What's that handful of stuff that you should have in your rig if you're gonna drive it out in the woods, right? And so in my mind, you know, this is your basics, your fire extinguisher that we were just talking about, but also. And I've got some thoughts on some real basic stuff, but I'm just curious between to hear some of your thoughts, and between the two of us, I'm hoping we can leave everybody with a really good list of here's the basics, here's what you should never drive out in the woods without in your vehicle.
Okay. So yeah, right away the fire extinguisher, shovel, and then next on my mind is gonna be a simple recovery kit. So as simple as a tow strap and 2 D-rings, 2 shackles.
Yeah.
That way you can get some help if you get in a sticky situation. Besides that, I would say the next thing would be a toolkit, just a simple toolkit. It's best if you know what your vehicle takes, what kinds of tools, and really dial that in. But a simple toolkit is better than nothing.
Comms, like I think
Comms would be a big one,
Going back to like the Garmin InReach or a CB or a ham radio or GMRS, some kind of. I mean, obviously everybody's gonna have their phone with them, but some kind of comms.
Yep, some sort of communication device. That's absolutely key. And for me, it's a big peace of mind thing if I'm going out there solo.
I think it's a great idea to always have some extra water in your rig, and this is probably a bigger deal like over in my side of the country where, you know, it can be, 50 miles between water sources and stuff out there. So for me, I kind of feel like always having an extra 5 gallons of water in the rig is super important. And if I have, my preference would be not only to have some extra water, but also to have, you know, some kind of water filtration system or something like that to.
Yep. So you could keep replenishing that water supply if you needed to.
Yeah,
that's pretty key.
exactly.
Besides that, another one I really think is important and a lot of people overlook, even before I grab my spare tire, a lot of times if I have a tire issue, I'm going to grab my tire repair kit, which is going to be basically a tire plug. And that could be as simple as a 30-second fix, you're back on the road, instead of grabbing that spare, throwing it on, and plus leaves you another backup still. So tire repair kit, inexpensive.
Yep.
Good item to have.
So here's the thing, I'm just thinking, based on what we were kind of just talking about, for those of you that are just getting ready to go out in the woods, you know, here's a real basic list: a shovel, a fire extinguisher, really simple toolkit. And I'll tell you, even if you don't have like a toolkit, at least a multi-tool,
Yes,
like a
so I was gonna say
Leatherman
Leatherman,
or
yep.
something like that. I can't tell you how many times over the years I've repaired vehicles with a Leatherman weight.
Oh,
In
man.
fact, everybody likes story time, but I'll keep this one brief, but you'll appreciate this, Josh. So one time I was with a buddy, we were in his truck. Interestingly enough, his was a 1999 Chevy truck, you know, real similar to Grandpa's truck that I drive now. We were way out in the middle of nowhere, driving these old roads, and all of a sudden the temperature gauge pegged in the truck, and we smelled antifreeze. So we stopped on the trail, got out, and looked. There was actually a plastic, like a nipple, where the heater hose went through the firewall, and that plastic fitting had gotten brittle, and the nipple broke off. So basically what we had was, up against the firewall, there's now a hole that used to have a nipple sticking off of it that the hose went on, right?
Yeah.
So basically it drained all of the coolant out of the vehicle in there. So and so now we have this plastic hole through the firewall and a hose, and we have to figure out how to get this. So basically we happened to be not very far from a stock pond. So we limped up to the stock pond. We had like 5 gallons of water, so we filled that in the radiator, drove to this stock pond. Well, then what happened is we're like, how are we going to get this attached? Well, I found a 30-06 shell casing on the ground.
Oh my gosh. This
My
is getting
buddy
good.
had no tools at all in the truck. I happen to have a Leatherman that had the file on it, and to this day I will not own a multi-tool that doesn't have the file on it because of this one event that happened. So I took that 30-06 shell case, I used my Leatherman file to file the base of it off, so now it's basically like a nipple, right? So I shoved one end, the fat end, into the heater hose. Actually, first drove the other end into that plastic hole, into that nipple, and I was able to use a rock and drive it in there and tap it in so it was nice and solid, and then stuck the heater hose over the outside, and that's how we got back to town.
That is awesome.
That got us. In fact, not only did it get us back to town, but I talked to my buddy like a week later, and I was like,
He's
"Hey,
still
did you
driving
get
it,
that
huh?
part?" And he's like, "Oh, I haven't had a chance to get it in the shop yet." So that is just an example of how, with a little bit of ingenuity and a Leatherman multi-tool or some kind of a multi-tool, man, you can do a lot.
Yeah, all you need is a little bit of bubble gum, and besides that, you're set.
Right?
Seal anything up.
Other things I think are great things to have: a little bit of wire.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be like, I grew up in ranch country,
Some
so
baling wire.
yeah, so we had baling wire everywhere. So I mean, no rig that went in the backcountry didn't have like a couple of twisted, gnarly knots of baling wire that you'd throw
Absolutely.
in the back of the rig.
Yep.
Duct tape, another good thing. Zip ties.
Yep.
Nowadays we have zip ties.
Yep.
Those are a great thing to have. I can't tell you how many times I've had to zip tie something up, a bracket broke, or
Yeah.
something like that.
I always have zip ties on me.
Those are a good thing. What else?
Not like that, but
Shout out to Mr. Zip who invented those.
What?
It's not necessarily something to carry with, but I just want to note that tons and tons of people around the world forget to check their spare tire pressure.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's a good one.
Good
And
call.
You get out there, you
that gets
go.
really stranded.
Yeah, you get out there, you go to mount your spare tire, and you find out that's also flat. and you may not have an air compressor to get that filled up.
Yeah,
So that's
but
a
if
very
it
good
needs
point,
time,
Warren.
You check your other tires.
Yep.
Solid point.
And
Solid
that's just
point.
usage.
Even if it's as simple as a little kick underneath the car and see if there's some pressure in there.
Yeah.
Hey,
The
real
old
quick,
trucker kick.
Sarah wants me to ask you, Josh, about sealing a tire with Sour Patch Kids.
That is a story. Okay.
Does that work?
That's my
well?
wife.
Oh.
Hey, Sarah.
So some years ago, we were in the Subaru I had, and we were in the backwoods, quite a ways out, and we got a flat tire, and the donut that we had on it was also flat. So I had to find a way to seal this thing up and get some air, and I had an air compressor. All I had was a few, like snacks, beer, some Sour Patch Kids. So I took some Sour Patch Kids and I heated them up, used a screwdriver, and I kept shoving them in and heating them up and shoving them in. So there was this bulge of Sour Patch Kids on the sidewall. And it actually held air.
That
It
is
held some
awesome.
air, but then the problem was I killed the battery, and I was in a hole in a campsite, and we were ready to leave, go get the tire fixed with our Sour Patch Kid Fix-A-Flat, and couldn't leave. So I got a ratchet strap, hooked it to a tree, and started ratcheting the car about an inch every, 10 minutes it took. It never really worked out. I had to hike out a little ways, get some help, and have someone give us a jump start. But Sour Patch Kids held.
That's pretty awesome.
And they were pretty tasty.
That's a great story. Thank you for that, Sarah.
So the thing is like we could sit and talk about gear forever.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully, I don't know. Oh, is anybody on the YouTube? Oh, camplolo.com. Is anybody on the YouTube that can see if anybody has any questions coming in? Mike?
I'm not currently, but he can jump
I'll
on
check it
there.
out, yeah.
There's been a bunch of questions on this side too, but
We'll check real quick and see if there's any
One-
questions.
I don't know if they're still here or not, but somebody had mentioned when you were talking about like lightening your load and then changing things up. and
Yeah.
Potentially a Lolo gear swap at some point would be kind of cool.
Oh, I think a gear swap could be a really fun
It'd be
thing.
a fun Lolo event, you know?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So one thing we usually always do is show and tell, guys, on Camp Talk. So one thing that has been super cool for me about my partnership and my friendship with Lolo Overland is that these guys, they know about stuff that, how things kind of work out in the backcountry. And I can kind of say, here's some of the stuff that I have planned coming up. And then they'll kind of put together some gear. So as you guys know, they did Grandpa's truck, the Vernlander, a while back, and slowly but
The
surely.
Vernlander, I haven't heard that yet. I
Yeah.
like that, man. That's awesome.
We need to make a new graphic for it that says Vernlander.
That'd be awesome.
So there's a question for Lolo wanting to know if they have the Gazelle T4 in stock.
Let's talk about Gazelle.
Yeah, about
Love the
that.
Gazelles. We got all set up as a dealer, and then our big buddy Amazon moved in and bought all of Gazelle's inventory for all of 2021.
Boycott.
So we are a dealer, but we
Wow.
can't get them because those guys over there across the street literally
Wow.
took them all. So
I
thanks,
drove
Amazon.
by that Amazon warehouse on my
Mhm.
way here. I didn't even realize that was there.
Yep,
That's
Yep.
crazy. Huh.
yep. So
Um,
I use Amazon all the time. It's one of those like, oh, it's a tough one. Amazon really is a tough one.
It is, especially
For certain items, it's awesome, but
Yeah.
it does hurt when it's kind of those big gear items that people turn to the smaller shops for.
Especially for me living over in Central Oregon where there's such limited options
Absolutely,
for
yeah.
shopping. Like, I
Yep.
mean, Amazon's a lifesaver for
Mhm.
me. But what I was going to tell you guys, one of the things that's really cool is every once in a while I'd make a trip up here to the shop, and Josh and Daniel and Warren and the guys put together some gear and some kit. And so these guys have known that that I've been working on getting the truck outfitted, that we're getting ready to this year, you guys know, or you're going to see some videos coming up on the search for the lost gold, where I've got this video series coming up looking for the Blue Bucket Mine and following the Meek Wagon Train. So I've been trying to get the truck outfitted. So for show and tell today, we're going to do something a little bit different, and that is I thought I would show you guys, or let Josh kind of walk us through the gear package that they've put together for me.
Mhm.
Primarily gear for going in the truck and a few other things, but
Thanks, Margaret.
So they know more about the stuff than I do. So
I've got that for him, but I've got a whole bunch of other stuff for you.
you do.
Yeah.
Not
You
as
ready?
good as this, but give it
Are
a shot.
you really?
Give it a shot.
We'll let the viewers decide. Where do we start here?
Casey,
I think
Batman Adventures
you were grabbing
says
the
that you'll
first- the
buy
best
your
thing.
Gazelle for $1 million. Let's know if it's a deal.
It's a deal. Done. Done.
You're grabbing the right one. Mm-hmm.
All right, so guys, show and tell time. We're going to talk a little bit about some gear, and then we're going to get to sit down. We're going to bring Daniel in, and we're going to talk to you guys about some of what's coming up. So what do we got here?
This is the Lifesaver
I'm
jerry
saying
can.
that it's
This is mine. Thanks. I want one of these.
not yours
I
anymore.
need one for my Jeep.
It's Casey's.
Speaking of water options, these are great. This is your standard jerry can configuration, so it's going to work in any of those mounts. But this is the Lifesaver jerry can. So let me just pop this out of here. It's got a filtration system that will filter 99.99 and a whole bunch of nines. Bacteria, viruses, all that kind of good stuff, coronavirus.
Oh.
And we did the math on this guy. If, you know, the average person drinks supposedly about a gallon of water a day, if you're good. And if you did that, this would last you 99 years. So,
Wow.
Almost a lifetime.
almost a lifetime. Especially in this day and age with prepping and everything that's going on, this could literally be a lifesaver. Probably one of my favorite features about this guy, though, is that you can pressurize this. So you've got the pump right there, which is also the fill port right here. But you can pressurize it, and yes, it's got a hose kit. So it's got basically your standard like household kitchen hose with the nozzle on it. Clicks right on right here. It's got an on-off valve. So you can wash your dishes, fill cups, get some food cooking, or just pour yourself a nice glass of water, clean drinking water. These things are sweet. U.S. military uses them. They are designed and built in the UK, not in China, which is nice. Not in the U.S., but we'll take the UK for now.
Yeah.
So here you
so
go.
This is awesome, Josh. So this is one thing that I love is I love kind of multifunctional pieces of gear. So as you were going over this, I was just thinking this is cool because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm always going to have at least 5 gallons worth of water in a good durable can, which
Yep.
this thing feels like it's built like a tank.
It is.
But what's super cool about this is I love that functionality that you can pressurize it and use the water to and actually have pressurized water
Yep.
to spray off. Hose down your dishes, hose down yourself, or
Mhm.
whatever, and then the built-in functionality of the filtration. So I'm thinking that not only for a vehicle, but this would be a good kind of SHTF
Absolutely.
piece of kit to have at the house
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, nice, man. That's perfect. That's perfect. That'll take care of the extra emergency water capacity in the Vernlander.
Mhm. And it's coyote brown, so coyote tan.
My favorite
everyone call it.
color.
Yeah. What's next? Oh, here's your hose kit.
Oh, perfect. Oh, awesome. All right. So these need very little introduction. These are the
Standard jerry can. These are the Wavian brand,
It's
which
the
is
jerry can.
the jerry can, the originator. These are really nice. They've got a nice spout with them. They've got a good seal. These aren't going to leak. Super durable.
So interestingly enough, I've never used one of these Wavian cans,
Mhm.
but from what I hear, they're basically the gold standard at this point when
They
it
are.
comes to jerry cans.
Yep.
And
I've used several brands, and nothing really compares to the Wavian.
Mike, you were saying that they fit in a lot of the standard jerry can mounts and
Yeah.
stuff
Yep.
too. So
Yep.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Awesome.
Keep it coming.
What,
It's
you
Christmas.
Oh, you want more, Casey?
Ah, more Pioneer kit. Perfect.
Let me knight you.
I like it.
Which one's that, Josh?
All right, so this is the DMOS Delta Pro. These are awesome shovels. One of my favorite things about it, let me move a couple things here, is they actually open up to be a legit, actual
Full-length shovel.
full-length shovel. I feel like it should have one more length in it, though. What did I do wrong here?
Well, what are you, Shaq?
Okay, maybe that's it. That's it. All right. I got a little greedy there.
pretty
But
tall.
full length, super durable. This one is lightweight. It's the Delta Pro, so quite a bit lighter than the standard Delta. Nice powder coat finish on it. Let me show you how this guy packs up. And that's probably the biggest selling feature on these guys is how small they pack up.
And everything's always more difficult on camera, guys, so don't hold it against
Yeah,
Josh.
it's my first time using this. And I didn't watch the YouTube video, so get that pin out of there. And these fold up. You can mount on the side of your vehicle like that, on the roof rack, or just toss it inside. You can also pull the handle all the way off, but that folds up pretty compact. Super easy setup.
That's perfect. I don't know, man. I might actually put that in the Jeep.
It is Jeep worthy.
That's definitely Jeep worthy.
American made.
And what is the brand of this?
DMOS.
DMOS.
Yep.
Okay. God, it feels like it's built like a tank.
It
too.
is, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not a cheap. It's a solid piece of kit. Perfect. Perfect. All right. What else we got?
Hey,
Daniel?
Santa.
But wait, there's more.
Someone asked, is that shovel made in China?
No. USA. USA.
Is it?
It is. Yep.
Yeah. What's up?
Designed and built in the U.S.
Of course, we had to give you a little mug.
Oh, excellent.
It's enamel. Don't break
Oh,
it. Oh wait,
the
you
tin
can't.
one. This
Yeah.
is a tin one.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So,
I love the style of these cups, and I really like the whatever the porcelain ones
Uh-huh.
or the ones that we've had for a while.
These are quite a bit
Um,
more durable, though.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you can't beat a porcelain covered tin cup
Nope.
for just durability thrown in your food
Best camp
box.
cup you
and
can have.
you know what I
definitely-
got to tell you though,
What?
Casey? I'm sorry, but you're done with the instant coffee.
No.
Yeah.
What is this?
That is the Overlander press by Brew Trek, and so we've got a line of those
Brew
for
Trek.
Lolo, and so that's basically a French press as well as a thermos, and then you've got the bottom part where you can toss your grounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
check this out.
So
It's a French
That-
press.
My favorite thing about that is how it catches all the grounds in the bottom. Super easy cleanup.
Oh,
and
look
you
at that.
drink on the go. You drink straight out of the
Yep,
press,
spill
which,
proof.
comes
which is
off.
not usually how.
Whoops.
And it's drop proof. See?
Oh yeah, it feels like it's built like a tank. And then you just drink out of the top.
Yep.
So you basically fill this thing up with you put your coffee grounds in it.
Yep.
You guys know how French presses work. They're
Not
all
everybody does.
they're all
Though.
sophisticated enough,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Well, yeah. Except
All
for
right.
I don't. So can
For
you show
those
me?
of you like maybe my buddy Jamie Burke from Idaho, he might not be sophisticated enough to know how French press works.
Shout
so,
out to Jamie.
So Jamie, how shout out to Jamie and the old Ford truck, the 72 Ford.
Oh, I love
That
it.
might be his comment or GF Burke 3.
That's it,
Just
GF
wondering,
Burke 3.
He has a question. Does Lolo make the soft camper shell for an 8-foot 79 F-150 like what Casey runs on Grandpa truck?
Actually, Warren,
Definitely.
what do you drive?
I drive a 76 Chevy.
A 76
With an
Chevy.
8-foot bed.
And what do you have coming for it?
Soft topper.
A soft topper.
So
Yes.
Wait,
So there you go.
We
Jamie.
we can get a soft topper for those old classics.
we'll get a picture when it gets here.
We're his is about to arrive any day, and we'll put that on our Instagram page. And you got an 8-foot bed, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
8-foot bed. So no problem, we can get you one.
And those presses come in a bunch of different colors. We get a bunch of other things
Yeah.
to go with it too with that line. So
What do we have here?
that's one of my
the full
favorite
kit?
new items. Yeah, but
Oh.
You can't show that
slow
without
down,
the whole
Rudy.
kit.
All right, fine. You know what we're gonna do? We'll do.
You're gonna take it back?
Yeah, but I'm gonna give it back to you again.
Here, let's open this up. So you guys have probably seen the ads on social media. Blackbeard fire starters comes with the sweet patch here, but this is basically a fire starter kit. And these guys here, made in the U.S. Take your knife, cut off a little sliver, maybe about a quarter size piece, fluff it up a little bit. Use your ferro rod.
Oh, that is a beast of a ferro rod.
Very nice
too.
one, yep. 5,000 degrees spark is what this thing puts out. And that stuff is windproof and waterproof. It does not
Cool.
expire. We actually just used some this weekend in camp, and it was awesome. So, this is the little, what do they call this one? The Pirate's Plunder.
I think that's the plunder, yeah.
So you get the ferro rod, 3 of the fire sticks, and then,
Got one of my favorite new pieces that I got,
yeah, I'll let you have that. That's yours.
which is the
Dude.
That's a
So,
taser.
real quick, this is going back to what Josh and I were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Another one of the basic pieces of kind of pioneer kit that you want to have in your rig is a fire making kit. So
Yep.
this is perfect. It's all basically in one package. You got your fire kit, your tinder, your
That's like a whole box of newspaper right there.
yeah.
all available at the new camplolo.com, right?
What'd you say?
Camplolo.com.
CampLolo.com. Never heard of it.
I love this.
Yeah,
It's
what's
this is
the
a
announcement of the day for the people just tuning in.
CampLolo.com is live, the brand new Lolo Overland website.
all new site.
I would venture a guess as to say, but even more importantly than that is the Coyote Den is live.
Yeah,
on the Camp
exactly.
Lolo.
That's
So
actually
wait,
why we made the site.
We're getting
With
ahead of
discounts.
ourselves, though.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
are
get through the gear, then we're going to talk about all the cool new stuff that we have going on together.
Can I? Oh,
You should have.
I love you
I
too
was
much.
gonna ask.
What is that?
This is
It's the arc lighter.
This is the Blackbeard arc lighter. It's a windproof, waterproof, lithium-ion battery lighter, or it could be used as a taser if you want to. I don't know. We have to test out if it's effective or not.
Doesn't work.
Useless.
But I did just have one of my normal episodes.
You doing okay?
Warren, you have Daniel's medication?
No. No,
It's
not
beer.
good.
It's level beer.
Oh, yeah,
Here, take that case.
medication.
Take that case. Get it?
Yeah.
All right, you're going to have to show me how to use this.
ADV with
Hey, this is
Roscoe wants to
Casey's.
know when the special guests are showing up.
Is he coming down to cook some stuff on a scuttle?
Yeah,
Can,
when-
can
when's
you
he
see?
getting here?
Can you see how special they are? Wait, can we say that?
No, yeah, you can say
Yeah,
special.
okay. Yeah,
You
he's-
can't say retarded.
You can't say that.
I can if
All right,
I am.
you can scratch that.
Here, I'm just kidding. You guys set me up for that one. Here's a
Alright.
nice.
the viewers just dropped.
No, actually,
Or they just
went
increased.
up about 4 times after you remade the announcement.
Wonderful.
Back up above 30.
Good.
Nice.
Donate to the new Camp Lolo. We're gonna get this guy some help.
Or at least a helmet.
All right,
so
this is
we've
pretty
got.
cool. I've been seeing these on social media, and this is one of those things that keeps popping up that
They-
I've been looking at. Like most of the time,
It's
you
cool.
see they're just irritating
Yep.
like things that pop up, but that's one that I've been thinking like
No, their stuff's
that's
great.
got
It's
some
awesome.
legs to it.
Someone
Mhm.
just bought one.
Here's some other really cool stuff that not many people know about yet. These are. It's a
Oh.
relatively new company. They're local to Oregon, and this is all handmade wax canvas stuff. The company's Roman Shelter, and this is their day pack. Basically, a nice backpack with a roll top, all wax canvas, handmade locally, like I was saying. And
Well, these are made right here in Portland, right?
yep,
Or is it Hood River?
they're back in Portland now. So they
In
had
Portland.
they had both, but now they're sticking to Portland. So
Waterproof zippers.
yep.
Yeah, these look like waterproof zippers.
And so they make a whole line of awesome stuff, and we carry everything they've got.
Perfect.
So Roman Shelter, a really good company, cool father and son duo, old furniture makers that wanted to get into this world and really have a knack for the outdoors.
So you guys can't see this, but this is really well padded wax canvas. What I'm actually going to use this for is, I was telling Daniel and Josh that I keep hauling all of my, my iPad Pro, my microphones and everything out in the woods to try to do my Camp Talk lives and stuff, and they're just bouncing around on the floorboards of my Jeep and stuff like that. So I needed some kind of
Media
a
bag.
So this is actually, that's what I'll use this for. So you guys I'll show it to you out in the field a little bit using it. But this also is about the perfect size to be one of those emergency packs like we were talking about earlier. This
Absolutely.
would be a really
That's the
good.
day pack, right?
That's the day
So they make one that's a
They've got
little
one
bit
size
larger,
bigger.
which I think is the one I have.
Yep, and I have that one as well. It's the
Yeah.
Weekender. The Weekender is a little bit bigger.
Maybe 30% larger,
Yeah.
but similar setup and format and everything.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
that'll do you
the
well.
12.9-inch iPad Pro fits just perfect in
There's
I've
stuff-
got a 55-inch Samsung TV in mine right now, so
You- nice.
Well, that's the Weekender pack. though,
Yeah, it's
so
the-
yeah. 30% bigger, you know. So
Oh,
that's
good
perfect.
follow-up right there.
and so yeah, these guys are seriously one of my favorite new products, and I'm hoping that everybody gets a chance to check them out. We've got a bunch of their stuff on display here in Lolo. But to follow that up, we've got the matching utility sling that they make for firewood or carrying whatever else you want.
Perfect. I've actually got one, kind of an old school one that I kind of rigged up myself that I've been using as a firewood sling. So this is awesome.
Those are great.
That's perfect.
If you don't mind, can I just kind of model this one off for a minute?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself, but go for it.
I would never.
And don't get that too close to the Blackbeard.
All right, I'll get it close to the red beard. Can I squeeze through here?
Come on in.
You know what you should do is you should bring a chair over, Daniel.
I got one right behind you, Case.
You do?
Yeah, but I want it to stay there, and I want you to stay there.
Okay.
Just kidding. All right, so check this out. This is how the utility sling goes. It's got a nice buckle on it. You can firm her up. And
I like it.
yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, it. I was gonna try and go more, but that's pretty much all it does is just carry stuff for you.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. No need
Thank
to
you.
overcomplicate it,
Yeah.
man. That's a simple piece
Shout
of
out to
gear.
the Wilsons. Good job, you guys. So yeah, Roman
Roman
shelter.
shelter.
Roman shelter.
You could also hold quite a bit of like Subway sandwiches in there for a party.
At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you got room. I'd say about 20 foot longs.
A half a cord.
Half a quart of footlongs.
Half a cord. Half a cord foot long.
We have a question from Dave Harper.
Hey,
Who
Dave.
makes the camp light newer, the light you were talking about?
So that is the that's the ready light.
Yeah, that's the Ready Light, which is put out by Free Spirit Recreation out of Bend.
Right there. I don't.
That's one of my favorite things we have here, actually. I mean, it's really a great product.
Yeah, those.
That-
and I'm literally using the same ready light. The original ready light.
I've
that
got
I
the desert sand colored one from, I think it's about 5 years old now.
No, I stole it from you.
That's
You
true,
don't
he
have
did
that
steal
anymore.
it. I think
So-
that was actually the first product I actually purchased for Lolo was Ready Lights.
Uh huh.
So,
Yeah.
Good call.
yep,
Yeah. So your original one is now going on to its second owner.
yep.
And yeah. So hey guys, so we hopefully you got some good information out of that gear talk and had some fun seeing. It's always really exciting for me getting a new kit when I come up here. But we also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about. We've continued to kind of, when I say what I want you guys to think is that Josh and I have a lot to do with it, but mostly we just give advice to Daniel, who actually does all the work and executes this stuff.
That's right.
But Daniel, come over and let's tell everybody
Come sit with us.
what's going on, man.
Maybe.
You guys could just set that chair up for me real quick and get the. Can we get the?
Yeah, you're gonna have to come around the front.
Hair and makeup?
Just the makeup today. Get it? I don't have hair.
So we need
I'll
the
miss-
hair and makeup.
Oh, the wig. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So,
Yeah.
We could actually probably use some of that Blackbeard stuff and put it up
What
there.
advice would you guys like from me today?
well, let's just tell people what's going on. And so, one thing that I don't know, we talk about this a little bit every once in a while, but I don't know if you guys really realize how cool of a thing it has been, like being able to do the merchandise stuff with the guys from Lolo, and Daniel's been, he's been awesome as far as designing different stuff and
Very much
everything.
awesome.
And it's, like I said before, between the super chats and the direct PayPal contributions, the merchandise sales is really the other thing that really contributes financially to my channel. And so that's the cameras, the iPads, all of that gear.
Right.
So first of all, I just want to, again, say thank you to you guys, because that's been a huge, help. And then to you guys for, the t-shirts and hopefully the patches and the trasharoos and all of the stuff that you guys buy, because that really does go a long ways towards helping me keep all of the stuff that going to keep producing the content. So
Yeah.
having said all that, we've been working for a long time on some things, and Daniel can do a much better job than I can.
Yeah, no, it's
kinda
been
talking
it's
about
been an
what we've
absolute
got.
pleasure. First of all, it's been really nice to be able to design and work with you on helping you further your adventures. So we've got a lot of new stuff coming out for Coyote, and all of it does go to help
further in your adventures, correct?
Yep, all of it.
And I just have fun working with you. I mean, of course, you're my brother, but on the other side of it, I love designing things for you and just kind of helping you on the creative end of things. And so, yeah, we've got a whole entire new Coyote Den, basically, that has Coyote Works merch and a bunch of your favorite gear, which we're going to be adding to, actually.
Yeah. So one thing that I want you guys to know is, like, if you go to that Coyote Den on the new Lolo Overland website, camplolo.com, literally every piece of gear in that Coyote Den is a piece of gear that you're also going to see me using out in the field. Most of that gear is stuff that you guys have already been seeing in my videos, but the idea was, you know, I get so many questions about gear and everything, so the idea is that here in one spot, go to the Coyote Den on Lolo and know that every piece of gear that you're looking at there is a piece of gear that's right out of my loadout.
Yeah.
That's something that I use. There won't, if there's a piece of gear that I move away from, we'll pull it out of there. If there's a new piece of gear that I've vetted and added to my system, we'll throw it in there.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of it, is just like really what is out with you, you know what I mean? And what you back and what you use all the time. And so it's a really cool, it's a cool section of the site. I'm excited about it. And so, yeah, if you use promo code Coyote, you get 5% off everything in your cart. Yeah.
And then you also have, so if you use the Coyote promo code, that's 5% off everything in the cart. But didn't you set up another promo code?
We're gonna
too?
have another one. We're gonna have another one where it's 10% off one item in there. But I think right now we're just gonna do the Coyote where it's 5% off, and then you get a free shirt of over $100.
So just remember to use the code, because that's how they'll know that you get the free shirt with your with your $100. Anything over $100.
Yep. Any order over $100, you get a free Coyote Works shirt. So.
And I really like I was just playing around a little bit on the new website, and I really like just the way that it lays out and flows. And
yeah, it's a good,
it's
solid new interface. It's fun. It's easily navigatable. You know, quick checkout, and quick out.
Quick out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I wrote that.
So what else is coming up? So Daniel, you've been working on the van, and you've got out on your first trip on the van.
I have, yeah.
Josh, you've got a new rig you're working. So just talk. Actually, I'm gonna go get some water. You guys tell everybody what's going on with what's coming up with Lolo.
Well, I've got a sweet 98 Ford Econoline that's, I mean, we'll talk about his whatever it is later. But I got a sweet 98 Ford Econoline that's just like,
Tell me about it.
it's the best.
Tell me about
it's
it.
so good. You're so jealous, I bet.
You got a rooftop tent?
Yeah, I got a rooftop tent. You guys remember that episode on our YouTube where Casey put the crawdad on my ear for a free tent?
Hey Daniel, say thanks to Still Here for the super chat donation.
Hey, thanks, Still Here,
That's awesome, man.
for the super chat.
We also had one from D. Von Elrich.
D. Von Elrich!
Thanks, Stephen Elrich. All right. Much love to you guys.
That's it.
1999.
All right. perfect.
1999.
My birth
3
year.
easy payments of 1999.
That was my birth year.
No, it wasn't.
I know.
We're
What was it?
86, brother.
That
was terrible.
Stupid as shit. I'm sorry, Shin.
Stay on
You
track.
just kicked my shit.
Wait, we're gonna have to pull Daniel off camera.
No, we're not. We're fine.
Happens
All right.
every time. So yeah, you got your van and whatnot.
I do
That's
have
cool,
my
but
I do have my van.
I got a new Jeep.
I know.
And you
that's-
came and
that's- I
helped
was
me
trying
get
to
it.
just build up how cool the van was, because how cool is the Jeep compared to the van?
So what are you gonna do with the Jeep? You got plans for it that you want to talk about, or?
Do
We
I
are
want
gonna-
to talk
we are
about the
gonna be-
plans?
Well, you know what? Just because people are tuning in and they can get the scoop, I think. But we are going to do a full build series on it. So we're going to
That's-
go about month by month.
Okay, perfect. So
Kinda
that's the
just
kind of stuff
start
that I
from
wanted
stock
to.
and then going all the way through
Yeah,
what
so-
we're going to do.
Because you guys have a YouTube channel too,
Mm-hmm.
so which I think is important because some of the people who watch my channel might not even know that.
Actually, yep. So we have a YouTube channel. We actually just expanded and we leased the place next door to us for, first of all, more warehouse space, more offices, but we have a studio over there now, and our plan is to get our YouTube rocking. So more product reviews, installs, tech tips, adventures. We're really putting a lot of energy into our YouTube.
More chats with our brother here.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna start it off with a new series, building up my Jeep JL. We're calling it the Lolo Jeep 2.0 build. And right now it's a completely stock 2021 Rubicon, and we're gonna take you through all the steps of building that up into a beast. So That's going to be a good series. I'm excited for that, of course, because I got a pile of parts sitting in the warehouse. I got to get on there, and I'm itching. So
Yep. So our first episode right now we've had to go down to Vegas to pick this thing up. So
it's terrible.
it was it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so we documented that the trip down to pick the Jeep up, brought it back, and so we're going to run you through what he chose as the stock options because there are a lot of options when it comes to buying a new JL, right?
And I made some interesting choices.
And he
that
did make some very
people are
interesting
going to be
choices.
asking me some questions about, so we're excited for that.
So we'll answer
Yeah.
that in episode 1, letting everybody know like kind of what we're starting out with of the foundation and then where we're going to go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Warren's got his arm up.
Super chat gift from Mark Taniguchi.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Taniguchi,
Hey,
my
Mark.
man.
Thank you.
Shout out,
Happy
man.
Sunday.
It's just a gift.
Mark is an awesome dude. So for those of you that
Every
don't,
Mark is.
go find Mark. Well, here's part of the reason why Mark's super awesome is because of all the cool stuff he posts on Instagram.
Mhm.
So
Really?
so you should go check out Mark's Instagram page if you're not.
Do you remember
following
the handle for it?
Mark Taniguchi? I
It's
think.
just Mark Taniguchi,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's good
you guys
stuff.
just have to guess how to spell Taniguchi.
I
It's
know.
on the chat side.
Oh yeah,
Oh, everyone watching
everyone
can
will
see
be
it,
able
yeah,
to
but
see
not,
it,
not on
yeah.
our Instagram though.
Oh, right.
No. Plus, I mean, he's just one of those guys. Like I've never met him in person. Like, but we've
Yeah.
just always messaged back and forth from time to time on Instagram, and just you can just tell he's a cool
Oh.
guy. He's one of those guys that's
Your phone's low battery.
oh.
Better
All right,
than
well,
a
we're
portable
probably-
battery charger.
What time is it?
It is 7-Eleven.
Seven-
Slushy time.
Okay, 7.
It's
All
time
right,
for a
we're,
Slurpee.
we're not doing too bad. So
No, we're good.
So, Lolo Overland channel, you'll have a build series coming up on the Lolo Jeep. We are going to get a trip together. The three of us are going to get a trip together where we're going to go out and do some really amazing content together. One thing is, you know, we all, to some degree or another, are really into, you know, filming, and Josh and Daniel have more backgrounds in it than I do, but we want to do a really epic trip where we just
Absolutely.
really focus on doing a good job of filming some of the cool stuff that we run into and the things that we do out there. So we're going to make that happen.
Yep.
As you guys know,
Real soon.
it's been a tough year for Josh with the fire and everything. So, but now he's back in the Jeep and going to
Yep.
start building that thing. And
Yep,
And
I
you got
see
the
2
pickup
trips right
truck?
away because we got the trucks we got to take out,
yep,
and we got to get the Jeeps back together. So
yeah.
there's 2 solid trips right there. And the van
Guess who's
can come
crashing
too.
that party both times? The van.
We'll have our camera guy in the van.
Hey, it's
Have
the
you guys ever
production van, man.
watched,
It's the media mobile.
Have you guys ever watched a YouTube channel called 4-Wheel Drive Action? It's
Oh, yeah.
like these guys in Australia
Uh-huh.
that go
I love
out
that
there.
channel.
Well, I know they get some really cool footage and stuff. A lot of more hardcore off-road
Mhm.
stuff, but they have a cameraman, and that's what that's what Daniel.
They have a whole
wanted
production
to-
vehicle. Yeah.
Yep. So
That's the
Daniel's the
van.
production vehicle.
Dude, when we went out and we filmed the first episode of the build series.
With the Jeep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had
Oh,
the
the
van
van
out
was
there. It was
so
like
good.
a nice little mobile.
we went in there to like view it and
Oh
kind of
yeah.
you know
Mobile
have a little
review
editing
studio.
spot,
Mobile command
Yeah.
center
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
review audio and footage, and go refilm it. Or
And that's why I like vans. Like honestly, I love vans because it's just like, it's just a production vessel. You know,
what
and that's-
about
what about the chicks?
what
that too?
what about we won't go down that dark road with Daniel. What?
Casey, you just told like 80,000 people what's up.
I didn't tell him anything, man.
I know.
You're a cool dude.
Hey guys, I'm cool.
What about events? So, like, usually we've done Northwest Overland. Is there going to be a Northwest Overland this
There
year?
is
Do we
not
know?
going to be an Overland Rally.
Ooh,
they
what?
have
Not.
they have called that, but actually this month, May 22nd, 23rd, 21st, 23rd, the Redmond Off-Road Rally. We're going to be out there.
Come out there with us
We'll have a
already.
big
Yeah.
booth right at the
Yeah.
entrance when you walk in the show. So that's going to be our first appearance for the year.
I'll
We're gonna
be
do,
there.
We're gonna do a Casey. Casey's gonna come hang out with us. Do kind of a
Yep.
meet and greet. And
Yep.
We'll be hanging out.
Yep, so come say hi to us out there. We'll have some goodies. We're probably going to do some raffles out there and just be a good time. So
I'll be doing autographs. So
we'll be doing autographs. I'm going to have them sign my chest.
knee caps.
Whether you guys want to or not, another thing that we're going to do, and this is unfortunately, given where we live, it's COVID dependent, but another thing we have got to do is we have never have really been able to have our like open house meet and
Yeah.
greet here.
Yep,
and
that's kind of the next
I
thing I
wanna
was going
do
to talk
that
about.
so bad.
We
We're
are
gonna just
working
have
on
a-
something like that, just not sure exactly when.
Yep,
unfortunately.
we have to play around with some things as far as legalities with the state and whatnot, but we were planning on right at the first part of summer having a big open house event here at Lolo. Barbecue, some beer, some music, some vendors.
And I think tentatively we should just kind of stick with that's around the time that we're going to go for.
Yep.
And
So stay tuned. We'll figure something out.
We're
'cause
gonna
we
make
just
something
really-
happen.
And basically, we just want everyone who knows Lolo or watches my channel come. Let's just all hang out and have a good time. We'd love to do some kind of a group overland trip too. So, again, Oregon COVID restrictions. We're kind of working around a bunch of stuff, but
right.
Yeah.
we definitely want to do some stuff.
We've got a few ideas for summer for some events or some things we want to do. Some pretty special stuff in the works too, but it really depends on COVID restrictions and all that. So let's hope for the best.
And I think you guys, one thing I would throw out there too is for you guys is let us know if there's something, you kind of understand the resources that we have to work with between me and the guys at Lolo, if there's ideas you guys have for, epic stuff that you'd like to see or gear reviews or, whatever, like we're always open
Yeah, I
to
like the suggestions. I
too.
like to hear what everyone wants to see and what they're looking for as far as info. It really, it's helpful just to know where we're going to go with content, but it's also like really fun to like be able to answer those questions by way of content.
Yep.
So
Well-
I'm about to hop off out of here
Perfect.
because perfect. What the hell, Casey? Just because I don't want
Sorry,
that to
guys,
die.
that came
'Cause
out wrong.
I want to. Yeah. Give me a hug.
All right. Hug it out, man. Hug it out.
Freaking band guys.
All right, we're good.
I know, yeah, freaking band guys. Casey used to be in a band. Anyway, so site-wide, I'm just gonna real quick run through here because
Hey, I was in the church band.
yeah, I know, but just listen.
Okay.
Is that thing still on there, Mike?
It looks like it's froze up.
That's okay. We're still live here. Keep rolling, man.
That's true.
That Canon battery charger.
Why didn't we get that pump in there?
Tell you really.
That's your job.
Anyway, so yeah, I was gonna jump off here just to try and save that. It's a no-go.
Yeah, it's seized up.
Anyway, so site-wide at camplolo.com, we got 5% off everything. You use the promo code Coyote. You'll get a free shirt with over $100 spent. And one thing we didn't mention, which is pretty fun and important, is the first 100 orders are going to get a bonus gift, and then we're also going to choose one of those 100 orders to refund the cart. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll be super fun to go live. We're gonna do it on May 22nd, and yeah, it'll be really cool
Cool.
to just kind of give that person their full refund back. So that'll be fun.
That's awesome, man.
I'm not fully gonna leave. I just want to check this.
Okay.
I'm going live.
All right. So these guys are messing around with cameras because they're live on Instagram too. But real quick, man, what we're probably getting pretty close to wrapping it up. But what questions do you guys have or comments? Let's see. Well, Scott McDonald says that TP is better than Poison Oak, so that's probably a good one.
TP better than Poison Oak.
Yep.
Mhm.
Let's see if there's ADV with Roscoe. Looks like he's just got some comments. I don't see any questions on there, but I think the the big thing that Josh and I wanted to leave you with from today's video was just encouragement to get out there and enjoy the outdoors. Get out there, do some car camping, do some overlanding. Don't feel like you need to wait until you have certain gear. Like we
Just
all
get out there and experience it. Don't overcomplicate it, and
we all love gear,
dive in
like
deep.
super fun and,
Yep.
and everything. But
Sorry.
it's such
Come
a
on.
travesty when I hear people talking about they're waiting to go out there until
Oh, I've
they
heard
get
it over
their
and over
rig.
again, and I always encourage people just get out there, even if it's just a day trip or a one-nighter. Just get out there and experience it.
Yeah.
What's up, Warren?
Question in the back.
Scott Mart had a big super chat donation with no message.
Yeah,
Scott,
nothing.
thank
Ah,
you.
Scott.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. Really, really appreciate it. So All right, so what I'd like to do is maybe just give you guys a couple of minutes to ask any questions or say any comments. You got the three of us here. You have the marketing genius. You have the founding father of Lolo Overland and myself. And I'm sure it's not the last time you'll see
No,
all,
we
all
should say
the three of
something.
us
We should say
together,
something
but
spectacular about him because he just said some really nice stuff about us.
Warren.
All right, we've got GF Berg 3 says stickers, bro, or your HR department will receive a strongly written letter. He's
What's
commented many times wondering
You've
when
got-
the stickers will be coming.
What stickers? They're available on camplolo.com.
We've
Right
got
now.
we've got stickers. Yeah, Mike. Can you
There's an
present
entire
these?
Coyote Works merch section right there. We've got stickers, we've got patches, we've got shirts. New shirts, by the way, the
He should send
2.0
us an
stack.
email if he has an issue with an order.
Yeah, definitely,
Are there
definitely.
stickers? Did
Jamie,
you order?
man,
Still
we
here, another super chat donation says, Casey, did you get vaccinated?
I did not get vaccinated, and I don't know. I don't want to. I know people have strong opinions about this stuff, but for me, oh yeah, there you go. There's Coyote Works stickers. We've actually
Coyote
got a
sticker.
couple of different ones.
We've got some great stickers going on.
Yeah, so
You
I
love
have
those.
not gotten vaccinated. Number one, I live in a rural area where we have, the chances of me contacting coronavirus are relatively low, but also outside of that, I'm pretty healthy. So the chances of me suffering any extreme kind of issues with it are pretty slim. So for me personally, I'm just not a big believer in taking stuff that I don't have to. So no, I've opted not to get vaccinated, and I can't say whether or not I will or not. We'll have to kind of see how things
Yeah, I'm
how
not
things
sure if I'm going
develop.
to either. Josh, are you vaccinated?
I've been drinking a lot of beer,
Perfect.
and I've heard
So
that
then
helps.
he's-
Yeah.
And I've been eating healthy.
Hal
Warren.
Marshall wondering what is the tent behind you?
The tent behind us.
This is the Evo.
Oh.
That's the Free Spirit Evo.
Yeah, that's the
55-inch Evolution.
that's the Evolution series.
Is it?
Look at, it's the Odyssey.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh,
the
I was
Odyssey.
looking at it backwards because I didn't even look at it.
So that's the Odyssey series, which is my second favorite hard shell tent, but it's quite a bit less expensive than the Evolution series, right?
It is.
Yeah.
We
Can
had
I say?
Tempest asked, is the front runner utensil set durable or cheap and easily bendable like Walmart type kits?
The front runner utensil set that's in the Coyote Den.
Depends on how
Yes.
long you cook your pork.
Okay.
Okay, I
You
mean
know,
it's an
it is
awesome set.
awesome.
It's
It
a
is.
great
It's a
utensil
strong
kit.
set. It's
I
not
think
going to
I saw
bend easy
one.
like that.
I think we're out.
Yeah.
No,
We got
it's
'em.
it.
Camplolo.com, baby.
I mean, it's silverware, right? So
Yep.
I mean, you can bend it like you
But
can bend a
it's
fork
not the
or
Walmart
whatever.
cheap stuff. Yeah. It's,
No.
It's very durable.
Nope, it's good stuff.
Yep.
It's a great kit for the price, and you get a ton of things. You don't just get forks, spoons, and knives. You get spatula. What else you got? You even have the wine opener.
Yeah. Wine opener, cutting
Right.
board. I like the cutting board.
Is one of my favorite features.
Yeah, no, I like it because I like how it's all bundled up in one nice little package and keeps all my gear organized. I like gear being organized, so.
And those are actually 5% off right now if you use the Coyote word.
Coyote
Coyote
word.
word.
Yeah, it's Coyote. It's one word, and you use that for
Is that his new
5% off.
YouTube channel, Coyote
What do you
Words?
got, Warren?
All right, still here, wondering what is the make of the camp table you rock?
So actually,
Conveyor.
Mike, can you bring that over and show them? So in my truck, I'm running this table right here, which is the Covea all bamboo. They call it the action table. I really like this table. Is extremely solid, and it also sets up really fast. So I really like that table
Coyote Works
right
approved.
there. So that's the one that I run in the back of my truck. It's folds up nice and everything. The table that I rock in my Jeep is the Wildlands
We don't have any of
folding
those yet.
table.
It's
Those
coming
are on
in
the way,
soon.
aren't they?
Yep, they've been out of stock for a while, but
Okay.
Free Spirit
So-
used to make them, and now they're the Wildland. Same. But we'll have some of those in the large and the small size coming in. I think in the next couple weeks.
Perfect.
Yep.
But to be honest with you guys, I'm actually thinking about getting a second one of those bamboo tables
Those are my
and throwing
favorite.
it in my Jeep just
Mhm.
because it's even
They're
simpler
awesome
and quicker
tables.
to set
I really
up.
like
Yep.
those ones. Those are
Super
my favorite
stable,
table we've
good
carried.
quality, packs up nice and quick.
Perfect.
So we had a comment that we need to ask the questions closer to the mic so they can be heard.
Okay.
Coyote Works. If you were a caliber, what caliber would you be and why? That's from Josh Rue.
Oh, from Josh Rue. Nice, Josh. How's it going, man? If I was a caliber, what caliber would I be and why? I would say I would be I would be a 5.56 because I'm versatile, nimble, and fast. How about
Do
that?
me next. Do me next. So what caliber would I be?
What caliber would you be, Daniel?
Come on, you tell me, Casey. I want to know.
I think you would be a 44 special because you're
Special.
dependable and sort of round.
Oh my God. He's not wrong, people.
Because
But
you're
I am
awesome,
dependable.
Like
So think about that.
you have that little bit old school, but like still relevant
That's
kind of
right.
vibe.
Yeah, I like this.
Like,
Keep going.
yeah, man.
What would
Yeah,
Josh
man.
be?
I'm thinking Josh would be like your good solid 9mm, right?
I'm down with the 9.
You're not a 9. You're
Yeah.
a 10.
Oh,
A 10
Didn't even
love you,
look.
brother.
I didn't even look at that word. All right.
A
so,
dime?
sorry
next
about the
question.
round jokes.
No, it's cool. I like them.
All right, what else do we got?
That's a good question.
That
That was awesome.
That was an
Great
awesome
question.
question, Josh. Awesome question.
We don't have many. You guys need to ask more questions. Only comments. Odorous
That-
Smegma
that just-
says, I use my gut as a table because I have a huge gut.
Ooh, nice.
Hey, so he would be a
Nice.
44 too, probably.
Sit right there.
See if I can go back and find some old questions we missed.
There's probably some questions on our Instagram if you want to take a peek at that.
Do we knock out all the promos we're doing for the Camp Lolo launch? I don't think we talked about
That
one
closed
of
down?
them.
What?
The last item underlined in red up there. The refunded.
I did mention it for
You
a
did?
sec.
Okay.
but Go
What-
ahead and redo it,
What,
just in case.
what
it
about the
just-
bonus gifts? No? None of that?
In the meantime, we do have a question that got asked several times that we missed.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Does Lolo have bathroom solutions for the woods?
Bathroom
Who-
solutions, we
Who
do.
asked that question?
Nate Zoinks.
Nate Zoinks.
Nate,
Awesome,
yes.
man. All right. So this is actually the same question. Nate had texted me this question too. So we've got to answer it.
So, got a couple options for that. Number one, we've got several shovels in stock. So that's going to be your most basic kit right there. That's a pretty nice bathroom. Next thing is going to be, we've got the Iron Man bush toilet, which is a collapsible metal, basically seating area that takes a bag in there. Do your business in, bury the bag. You can buy the ones that decompose in the ground or pack them with you if you want to do that kind of thing. But or if you want to get real bougie, what we can do is do the Iron Man Clean Waste toilet. That's going to be a canister style bathroom. So just like your normal bathroom at home, it's going to flush, store everything in a bottom tank. When you're done with your trip, you can dump that into a toilet somewhere or even a RV dump site. And those are basically like being at home. So several different variations depending on what you're comfortable with. And if you want a little bit of privacy, we've got some privacy tents or some shelters that can connect onto your vehicle awning, or even a tent annex can work very well for a privacy bathroom.
And I'll give you guys another tip on the whole privacy room. One thing is, if you want something a little bigger, a lot of the real inexpensive kind of pop-up privacy shelters that they offer are really small. Like, you know, your elbows are up against the sides of them when you're inside. So one thing, little tip, is go on, look for a duck blind. They're designed the same way, but you can get a duck blind that's a pop-up, you know, same kind
We've
of
got
concept.
the Overland Vehicle Systems privacy shelter, and it's quite a bit wider than anyone else's privacy tent.
Is it?
You could probably sit 2 people in there without elbows sitting. I wouldn't recommend that, but that was a weird way to put it.
What's up, Mike D?
So Brandon Cano, 19, he wants to know if you guys have any tips on securing overland trailers to
Damn it,
prevent them
Warren.
from being stolen or broken into.
Josh, you hear that?
No, I'm stuck on the bathroom thing.
Security measures for securing overland trailers to prevent them from being stolen or broken into. Any recommendations?
I'm assuming he means like when you leave camp or.
That'd be my question is, where you're trying to secure it. There are some options out there from GPS tracking systems, wheel boots that go on the trailer wheel and tire. Like our Free Spirit trailers we sell, they have a removable tongue, so you can take the tongue off, throw it in the back of your truck. Unless they've got a spare tongue to slide in there, it's going to be pretty hard to steal that thing. Cable locks, chains, wrapping, the axle with a chain around a tree. That's another really simple, old school solution. Besides that, you've got some generic tongue locks, but I wouldn't always trust those. So if you really want something bulletproof, I would do something that has a unique removable tongue or coupler setup, a wheel boot, or a GPS tracker.
He said, yeah, you're on the right track, and then if he decides to stay at a hotel and have it parked outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of trailer theft these days. Same with rooftop tents; they get stolen all the time.
Yeah.
Trailer insurance.
Yes, trailer insurance is cheap.
Dave Harper, how do you react when a total stranger pulls in right beside you in a remote area and they and their kids and dogs mob your camp?
Oh, I've been in that
Okay.
situation.
All right, so
Let's see what
I got
each other's
a,
style is here.
So I have a story about this one, and this actually, I don't know if Oregon Mike's on there tonight, but Oregon Mike was actually
I see
with
him
me
commenting,
on
yeah.
a trip when this happened. So Oregon Mike, you might remember this. So Oregon Mike and I went on a camping trip up in the Ochco National Forest, and we drove quite a ways down a really rough road, and we came to this creek, and we found this nice little camping spot by the creek. So we just got our camp set up, and then this car pulls in on the other side of the creek, and these couple of, people get out, and they start setting up their camp. Now, mind you, we're out in the middle of the forest. We have seen no one else for hours out there. They could have camped anywhere, and they pull in and they camp right next to us. Not only that, but they get out of their car and they turn the radio on as they start setting up their camp. And this is kind of a personal thing with me, but like, I'm not like a listen to music when I'm out in the woods kind of a guy. I'm more of a, I go out in the woods to get away from that stuff. I'll listen to music and watch stuff when I'm at home. So like the instant somebody does that, like I feel like, number one, you're on my property, because when I'm in the woods, I feel like it's my property wherever I'm at, right? And number two, like, you're not even being respectful of the fact that somebody else is right next to you who might really just want to enjoy the nature experience. So I got my AR-15 out and I started target practicing, and
They probably left real quick, didn't they?
yeah, they didn't hang out very long. They left. So
I've done a similar thing there.
yeah.
Hey, Josh, Chad Brown wants to know that if he puts in an order on your website, if he can come by the shop and pick that up.
Absolutely. We
What's up,
will be.
Chad?
Yeah, hey Chad. We'll be closed on Monday, but absolutely on Tuesday morning, you come in, pick up your order, and just shoot us a message if you have any questions on that or availability questions.
There is a store pickup option when
Yes.
you check out.
Yep, there's absolutely, when you go into our checkout, there is a in-store pickup option, so save yourself some shipping, come in, get some free stickers, grab a beer, say hi. We love that.
You know who Chad is. Chad's the one with the Hummer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, this is a left-handed coffee cup.
Well, I'm left-handed.
See? Oh, no wonder. Yeah.
You know I think my design's out well.
Anything else?
Prepsteaders, what should I add to my Lexus GX 470 4x4 first to make it more overland worthy?
You should wrap it to look like my van.
Stickers
That-
for sure.
That kind of circles back to how we opened
Yeah.
up this video,
Yeah.
and first off, that depends on what you're trying to do with the vehicle. And, I would look at the essentials right away, the gear, and you can revert back to the start of the video to see that. Otherwise, the GXs are super capable. There's a lot of great modifications for them, a lot of options to go there, but in their stock format with some good tires on them, completely capable. So the first thing I would do to a GX if I had one would probably be a mild lift kit, some wheels, tires, some rock sliders, and a winch.
I was just
We
going to
did
say
that
that if
recently.
you're just looking to increase the capacity of a mild lift kit,
Mhm.
and
Yep, a little bit better ride, more comfort, better on-road handling. The winch is a good peace of mind thing, and Yeah, GXs are awesome. Lots of options there.
I put as you guys know, we put the we put a lift kit in the
Yep, we did.
truck and the Vernlander and in the
Mhm.
Jeep. Not crazy on either one of them. I think they're both, right in that 2.5 to 3.5 inch kind of
Yep,
range.
yep.
And
That's all you really need. I mean,
most vehicles, I mean,
Mhm.
that 2.5, 3 inches is going to exponentially increase your clearance and your capability.
absolutely.
Oregon Squatch wondering if we offer a military discount.
We do.
We do. Yep.
10% off if you in checkout. If you're on our website, just do military 10 as the promo code, and that'll get you 10% off.
No need to show proof.
Nope. Just don't be a jerk.
Yeah, yeah,
Respect the men in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's false valor if you use the promo code.
yeah.
So,
Don't
I
do
mean-
that, man. Nobody watching my channel is going to be a dirtbag.
No, I know,
like
and that's
that.
why I had no problem with letting them know.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
we trust you guys.
We do background checks.
Okay.
Don't tell them that part.
Sorry.
Yeah, you
We
guys
don't.
go ahead. Who's
Trust
Yeah.
but verify.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Fasted 58 says power source for CPAP machine while camping.
Mm.
Ah, that's a good question.
Powered 58 had a question about powering a C. Was that the
A
username?
CPAP.
Yeah,
Was that the username, Warren?
Let me get back.
it was CPAP
Fasted
78.
58.
Fasted 58 had a
Yeah.
question about powering a CPAP machine. This is surprisingly common.
We get
I
this
had-
question a lot.
I had no idea how many guys, but I've actually
CPAP
been out
is
with quite a few people that have
Very
had that.
common these days.
Mhm.
Yeah. And a fellow
Me,
CPAP
I
user.
use one. I use
Oh.
one. I've got it.
These
this,
guys.
This round neck.
Sexy, but
Yeah.
round.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course it's sexy, yeah,
Yeah.
but like
That's why
undeniably need
that's
to
why you
see
gotta
that.
sleep in the van. Sorry.
Got to or get to?
Get to.
Go ahead.
No, you tell me. You're the CPAP guy, and you have one of these. You
All
love it, right?
I have one of those, do I?
What
Yeah.
is
All
it,
right,
first
I got
of all?
one. Cool, sweet. So I have
Just act
a.
like you do. Okay.
It's in the van. I can keep it there.
I'm sure you do.
So I've
have
got a
one.
Lion Energy Safari LT, which is one of my favorite things for powering anything really, but especially the thing that keeps me alive to tell you about what I like to power my stuff with.
So
Dependable.
that is. Do you know, Josh, how many watt?
This is a 500 watt unit.
Okay.
Um,
So a 500 watt unit will probably do fine for a CPAP overnight.
absolutely. I've got several clients that use CPAPs with these.
I've
And
heard
if,
people say they get about 5 or 6 days out of, or nights. Out
Oh
of them
wow.
yeah,
On a CPAP.
I would say 5 is probably the average. I have a client that comes in here all the time. It's a couple. They both run 2 CPAPs off of this, and they're able to get 3 days off of 2 CPAPs with a full
That's-
charge.
that sheds.
Perfect.
Yeah, yep. And they use also the portable solar panel, 100 watt solar panel that plugs right into this. So they're able to get a little bit more than that. They're able to charge it up during the day, charge their cell phones, charge devices, and then run the CPAPs at night.
And
So-
Sarah is wondering if that will work for a fridge as well.
This, yeah, absolutely. I run my 12 volt fridge all the time off of one of these once I get to camp. You can either run off of the 12 volt or the 110, but the 12 volt's absolutely going to be more efficient.
Those are how much?
These are $4.99.
And I can tell you guys, I just did a test on that V-Free
Yes.
fridge
Yep.
that I have from you guys. You guys are going to see now that the weather's warming up. You'll see me running that 12 volt fridge. Do you still carry that brand, or can you still
So
get
that
those?
was that was a limited run thing. They
Okay.
were a rebranded Dometic product that was made for the Italian market, and a few of them slipped into the U.S. here. They didn't sell very well because they didn't have a big name. So we bought pretty much everything they had and sold them at an awesome price.
And-
Really,
Those were also.
But
in
they're
the
basically
semi truck market.
Yeah.
That's what they had intended them to be. So.
yep.
But
So
they're basically a Dometic.
they were basically a Dometic. We sold out of those. We're not able to get them back into the U.S. That was a real kind of rare thing that we jumped in on. So.
But what I was
Good.
going to say is I was just running a test, and on my 500 watt battery backup station, I ran that fridge for about 36 hours, and it dropped my charge in that down about 30%. So
That's
I'm thinking
awesome.
I
That's
could
really
probably
good.
run that fridge for 3 days off
But
of.
that's a Dometic, and we've got Dometics as well. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so just to give you guys an idea, Dometic refrigerator, and I cranked it down pretty cool, and I did that because it was in the wintertime, I did that test in my house where it was warm. So, room temperature probably 70, 72
Yep.
degrees. And just to give you an idea of how often that compressor was probably running to keep it cool. So
Yep.
that's a good system. I was surprised that.
Yep, they do make a smaller model and a much larger model. They have the Lion ME, which is a 2,000 watt unit. So those are a powerhouse. Those will pretty much run anything you need. We got another question?
Yeah, so Yeti 110
Yeah.
is looking for a suggestion for a charging isolation setup for a triple battery system.
A triple battery system. So I'm guessing you're probably a diesel with a stock dual battery and you're looking to add an auxiliary. That's a super easy solution. I would go with, there's a lot of battery choices. You could do lithium or AGM for an aux battery. Either one's a great choice depending on your budget. But to charge that, I would go with the Red Arc charge controller. That's the BCDC charge controller. Great Australian product. Super easy to wire in. A lot of new modern alternators can't handle what the AGM requires in charging. And that Red Arc system's absolutely going to give you what you need there. So, great solution. And it's going to isolate it internally and is a built-in charge controller. So you can plug solar right into that as well.
Awesome.
Yes.
Alkali Flats Overland says, is the Covea portable gas range really just $35?
It is.
Alkali Flats.
It is,
What's
yeah.
up, man?
They're awesome. That's a great little unit. If you want to go a next step more,
Yeah.
I really like the Covea
The
Cube.
Yeah.
That's a stainless.
Which is in the Coyote
more
Den.
compact in the Coyote Den.
Yep.
That's what I carry with me.
The
And
Cube
that
is
one's
the one.
$49, so $15 more, $14 more.
Casey, tell us
But
about
both are great
the Cube.
options.
Your experience with the Cube.
Yeah, the Cube is awesome. I really like it just because of the size. It's a nice, small, compact square. and
This
it
is the
packs up
$35
inside my food
model.
box.
And
I
that
couldn't believe that we could even sell that for $35 when I saw it. I was like, there's no way.
So I actually use this. I have one of these that I used for, for years.
These
and
have
it
been
work-
around forever.
It works
Yep.
just
Tried and true.
fine. Yeah.
I
But-
just really like the size of that one.
Is that the
You
difference
can't
for
beat
Casey
this
for you?
for the
Is that-
size.
Is that the difference? Is the size?
It's definitely the size. This one just fits right inside my food box. So
Yep.
nice and
Very sleek, good looking model too, and I like the burner on that too. That burner is awesome.
the burner's awesome. It has a lot of really fine adjustment on it, so you
Mhm.
can turn it down really low to simmer. And that's one issue that I have with a lot of stoves is a lot of stoves it's hard to get them down on that really low simmer. As you guys know, I'm like a chef, so I do a lot of cooking out in the field, and so that's important that I have that level of control over
Got it.
the
That's why
the
it's $35.
culinary.
That
I like
one's
to
25.
I like to call it culinary art as opposed to cooking.
Same.
So I need that level
Yep.
of control.
No, I know
It's
you
like an
do.
artist with his brush,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
How was that stir fry?
So good.
Wasn't it?
Got 2 questions here on tap. First one really quick. What beer are you drinking?
Level beer. This
Level
is the game.
Bad Hombre.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yep,
It is
the
Bad Hombre.
Mexican lager, Bad Hombre from Level Beer right here in Portland, Oregon.
Great. Next one. Do you have a recommended leveling technique for your rooftop tent?
It depends on the terrain I'm in. Things I've used Max Tracks, I've used rocks, pieces of firewood. I've dug a hole and let the tire drop into it.
Walmart parking lot.
What's that?
Walmart parking lot.
Mike's
They're
got
very
Walmart
level.
parking lot's
Yeah.
a great
Mine is
level
very
surface. They've got some great amenities there.
Level beer.
Good
Level
entertainment.
beer. Yeah,
I'll tell
can
you
level
guys
it with a
my
beer.
favorite technique for leveling my vehicle for sleeping in the rooftop tent. I'm not sure if the question is how to level it or how to tell if it's level, but my favorite technique is, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of bottle jacks. I grab my bottle jack out of my
I've done that,
recovery
yep.
kit and I put it under whatever,
Oh, really?
one
Yep.
corner
And
or
it
one
stabilizes
side.
it a little bit too.
It stabilizes
Really?
it a little
Same
bit.
sort
It
of
takes
the
all the
vehicle?
movement.
I've
So
used
if
my
the
high lift
winds-
jack that way as well.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. So if the wind's blowing, your vehicle doesn't, move back and forth or anything.
Yep.
And
I've even
then-
seen guys use 2 bottle jacks to completely stabilize it, so it's not moving at
Oh.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my favorite
Interesting.
is just
Yeah, I never
using the
even
bottle
heard that,
jack.
but I'm, kind of a noob, but
Yep.
Josh Rue says, Casey, congrats on getting your ham license. Is there a mobile radio in the Jeep or the truck in the works? And do we offer a ham radio?
There is, so thank you. First of all, yeah, I'm really stoked to finally have gotten that and be able to open up my capability. In fact, I just got back from a trip yesterday where I was using my ham radio way out in the middle of nowhere in eastern Oregon, and I was actually able to hit a repeater on the top of Glass Buttes and one on Pine Mountain. So, yes, I will be adding a ham radio to the vehicle. My buddy Mike D that you guys met briefly earlier, he has one that he just took out of his rig that I think he's going to let me borrow, so I can kind of play around with it a little bit while I figure out what I want or need. In the meantime, I do have like 3 of these Baofeng UV5R variants, and one of which, the one that's in my truck right now that I drove over here, is an 8-watt handheld ham. But my intention is to get like 50-watt hard mount units, vehicle mount units in both my Jeep and my truck.
Probably a Yaesu is what I'd lean towards on one of those. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't really know much about them yet. You know, I've just kind of started last night. In fact, I just started doing some research after I got back from that trip.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have your ham license yet and you're looking to get into a little bit better comms than a CB radio, another great option is the Midlands. These are a GMRS radio. They work with all your 2-way radios. So if you got a Motorola or Cobra radio, it's gonna sync right up with that. Good reach. You can get some repeater channels on this and some NOAA weather channels. So these are super inexpensive.
Not how much? Just out of
This is the
curiosity,
whole kit
ballpark.
with a magnetic antenna, everything, and these guys are $159. So
Yeah.
That's the mounted one.
Yeah.
Yep, this is a hard mounted in the vehicle. We also have some portable units. You can find those at camplolo.com.
And I would say that my experience has been that probably the vast majority, the biggest majority of people out there that I've encountered sort of in the vehicle overland world that already have radios have GMRS radios. So
It's
for whatever
taken
it's
over
worth,
compared to CB, absolutely.
yeah, that seems to be the most common one. I think just, the ham thing, I really like. The extra capability there is awesome.
Yep.
But I think it's held back by the fact that you do have to have that license.
I think the ham's really good for emergency communications and backup. The GMRS is really great for on-trail communications. So, and if you're just getting into it, if you got a buddy that doesn't have a radio yet, you can carry a couple extra 2-ways, throw those to them, and you're going to be able to connect up with the same in-car unit.
Yeah.
That is a benefit, and I've got no radio experience, but what I've experienced, it was the Midlands, and just kind of like you guys tossing
Yep.
me an extra one because you had the kit and stuff like that.
And how easy that is.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's awesome, even if you
Mhm.
know nothing about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sarah asks, what's your favorite chair you've used?
Expander.
The front runner expander chair,
Yeah.
you like those? I mean,
I
that
think I like the Covea a little bit.
As far as comfort
this
goes,
is-
these luxury
The
field
luxury
chairs.
chairs are the most comfortable,
Yeah.
but I like the expanders for how quick they fold up and how small they fold down to.
The Titans are nice too. They fold up super
what's
flat.
this one?
This is the Titan flat chair.
Yeah.
So this right now is my current favorite chair. This is the one that I'm having
is?
my truck kit, my
Awesome.
truck camping kit.
Yeah.
Those chairs are hella comfortable.
But they're bulky.
They're bulky, and the issue with them is they're comfortable because you're reclined,
They're not like a.
but it's almost like they're too
Yeah, you're
reclined.
stuck.
You
This
can't
is
really
chilling around the
eat.
campfire.
Yeah.
Stuck
Yep.
back
Yes.
here like that.
Yes.
Yep.
As you guys know, I like one chair that I can also pull up to my table and eat my dinner with or whatever. and-
This one is a nice kind of all around chair.
So what is this one called?
That's the
the
Titan.
This is the Titan.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're both by Covea, and so this is the Titan, this is the Field Luxury.
Okay.
And then
so-
we've got the front runner expander chairs, which I think we're out of stock
We are
of in
out
store
right
right
now.
now.
But you guys have seen
Those are awesome. What I like about
use
those is they fold up super compact. They're still a comfortable chair. They're more of like a director style chair. It's a little bit more upright, but you can still kind of relax in them.
And I love how compact
comfortable.
they are. But
Yeah.
I got my first front runner expansion chair from you.
That's when we met.
the
yeah.
first day that I met you,
Mhm.
and never looked back up
Yep.
until I got this chair. I've never used another chair once I got
Mhm.
those front runner expander chairs.
Yeah, those
Another
are awesome.
a nice alternative to that's a little less money is those Ironman hard arm and soft arm chairs.
Yeah.
They come with cases and that's what Warren here is sitting in.
Here,
Yeah.
bring it in here.
Come on in, bud. Show them what you got. Show 'em what you're working with. So this is the hard
comfortable
arm,
arms.
and so they're a nice, very comfortable chair, and I think this one's a happy medium between like lounging and comfort, but also like keeping it, like not like sunk into it,
Yep.
We could almost do a whole episode on chairs.
Oh, yeah,
all the
easy.
chairs
We
that have
really
been
probably
through
will.
over
Easy.
the years.
That's a good alternative as well, and we've got those available as well. Mike's got a question if there.
So, Yeti, he's asking about the, quality cell booster. I know we touched on it
The
earlier.
Wii Boost.
Yes.
Mhm.
He's wanting to know if that's like kind of the top tier, if that's the best one you can get, or.
It
Yeah,
is.
Wii Boost is kind of the go-to brand as far as cell phone boosters go. They've been doing in-home and commercial use cell phone boosters for many, many years, and it was just recently that they brought this new product line out to the consumer market. So they've got a few models of the consumer Wii Boost. We like to use the new 5G model, which is the 5G OTR, I think is the model of it. Were you grabbing one of those, or are you getting a beer? Will you grab one for me just to show?
Got it.
But that is something that you're going to
Yeah,
need
both.
to install on your vehicle. It's got an external antenna, and then it's got an internal antenna that goes inside the cab. So you have to be within a certain area of the internal antenna to get that reception.
Drive
But
sleek.
when they work awesome. So this is your most basic kit. This is the Drive Sleek. This is a really non-invasive install, magnetic mount, nice cradle. And this is what most people are going to. This is the big boy. That's the 5G OTR. That's what I use. Those are awesome. My drive just recently through northern Nevada, I never lost service all the way through Nevada.
Although you did almost lose it.
I almost lost that.
Due to
yeah.
the wind,
Make
but
sure
that was-
make sure you use some Loctite on your install, Warren.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't that, it was the wind.
It was the wind. It was gnarly. But these are awesome.
We've got Tristan. I'm late.
Tristan.
I'm late joining. Brief overview of what I missed. Question mark?
Everything.
Smiley.
Get on board, move back to Oregon.
There is no such
Come join
thing
the
as a
crew.
brief overview on what you missed, man.
New website.
What Tristan is that? Does it say Tristan?
It just says Tristan.
Is
There's
that
a
our
picture, but I
Tristan?
can't see it.
Is that Taz? That's
Alright.
Taz.
That's Taz. Okay, yeah.
Taz, we wish you were here, man. Miss you, brother.
We need another camping trip, Taz. You
Yep.
got to come back this way for at least for one camping trip.
Yep. Bring those green peppers with you.
He says it's really me. Okay, we have a question from Lumux. Sorry if I'm pronouncing
Lumux
that wrong.
Overland.
Yes.
Lumux Overland, cool dude. He's actually building his own flatbed camper right now.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
His question is about the Wii Boost. He wonders what is the internal range? And I think that means how far you can be from the internal.
So
tank.
it's about 3 to 4 feet is what you're looking at.
That's how close your
That's-
phone needs to be to it.
Yes,
for it to
that's a
boost the
pretty
signal.
crucial thing with those is you do have to be pretty close to the internal antenna.
I've heard
But
that.
you got
But-
LTE outside of your truck.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
we were using it this weekend, kind of playing around with it, and I was quite a ways away from my vehicle, and it was enhancing the service already. So
From what I've heard, it's 6.
they say you have to be, around 4 feet, but it seems to have worked from what were we, 8-10 feet away at least.
Yeah, about 8 feet.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, lots of options there.
Wow. Dead. The
We
airwaves
we
are
need more
dead.
questions, guys.
We got anything else to add before?
Yeah, Jacqueline, I'm about to buy a Midland handheld. Do I need a permit or anything like that?
Nope,
Not from Midland.
not for a GMRS.
Cool.
You're solid, Jackie.
Nate Zoinks asks again, he might have missed it when we answered his question, bathroom solutions.
Oh man, Nate, we talked for like 15
Yes,
minutes
it's
about
several
That's
times
probably when he
before
got
we
us
got
to get a
to it.
beer. So
Yeah, you
Maybe
probably
he
caught
used the
up, man.
bathroom.
So let me do the short answer. So the short, well, you have to. What was the one that you talked about that you have here, the metal fold-up one?
there's 2 different styles from Iron Man 4x4. They've got the bush toilet, which is a metal fold-up, your traditional style bush toilet. And then they've got more of the clean waste style, so it's got a canister on the
Yep.
bottom that captures everything with some chemicals in there to help with. all
Then
that
you've
fun
got the
stuff.
old school luggable loo,
Yep.
the 5-gallon bucket with the lid on it. And
Yep.
You can kind
Or
of bag
a
it
shovel.
and tag it. Yep, or a shovel.
Still here wondering, will there be another Burning Jeep Festival this year?
There will
Hopefully not.
definitely be
I'm not
another
burning mine.
Burning Jeep Festival or Coyote Works Open Invitation Group Overland, or as it'll probably evolve into the Coyote Works and Lolo Overland Group Overland trip. When is the question? Keep in mind, guys, that we are in the state of Oregon, which is, I think, at this point, the most lockdown state in the nation as far as like the restrictions related to the coronavirus and everything. So I think
Boring.
all of us here have at one point been involved with some kind of a warning or potential issue with the restrictions. So I think we're all just feeling like, I mean, the county where I spend a lot of my time, as of Friday, got bumped back into the extreme risk category, which in
Yours
Oregon
did too?
means that
Mhm.
means basically that no groups larger than 6 people allowed together, et cetera, et cetera. So the short answer is yes, we will do something. The downside is we don't really know when at this point.
So we have a couple people pointing out that GMRS apparently does require a license, just that there's no test for it, so it might be something worth looking into. Do your own research. Captain and Hook asked Garmin InReach or WeBoost, what would you all recommend for keeping in contact off-grid?
So I'll hit this first, and then I'm sure Josh has some. To me, the Garmin InReach is kind of the ultimate solution in reliability there. Unless you're really down deep in a narrow canyon or something, you're not going to find yourself in a place where you can't get comms with the Garmin InReach. So
Right.
it's a satellite system, so it's going to have that same level of reliability as like a sat phone or something like that. That combined with the fact that it's broadcasting your location makes it a pretty foolproof emergency communication system. So my thought would be, if what's most important to you is that you have 100% comms 100% of the time, you're just not going to find that, with anything else other than like a Garmin InReach or a satellite-based
a full sat
system.
phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The WeBoost is really good for keeping, some media stuff going if you're trying to upload or if you're trying to stream music.
Getting you a cell phone signal if you're right on the edge.
Yep. That's more of a luxury thing, a little nice convenience. The InReach is straight up communications
Emergency
and
wise,
emergency.
InReach for sure.
Yep.
Islander here did mention, I was gonna kind of touch on it as well, that the GMRS license, it is good for your entire family, your whole
Mhm.
household, and it's good for 10 years. And I think when I got mine, it was like $70, something like that.
Do you know about GMRS?
Now is that
So FRS is one version. Those are like your radios you buy at like sporting goods stores.
those? That's what I was going to bring up. Like
That's
your
family
regular
radio
2-ways.
service.
Yep.
Those don't require any kind of licensing, but the general mobile radio system, they do require, because you're offering higher powers. But it's there's no test. You just basically
I thought
go
it
to the
was-
CC website and pay.
I thought it was everything 40 watts and above was
Yeah,
the license. Do you know what that is by chance?
No, I don't know, but I do know it specifically calls out GMRS. That's the
Really?
the
Because I
license.
thought it was a
Yeah.
power thing, and these are 15 watt. I thought once you got to 40 is the thing.
So you guys do your own research. I don't know
Yeah.
if you could
There's
hear
a lot
all
of
that,
gray
but-
area with comms in that matter.
But Mike D was saying that that basically there might be a license required, or he believes that there is a license required for anything operating on GMRS, operating on the GMRS frequencies. That your typical little walkie-talkies, which are basically just radio to radio FRS units, don't require a license. So check into it.
And I will say, the over like just your normal little like FRS cheap little radios, I know of a family that one of their kids got lost out in the woods, and they made their kids wear that little portable GMRS radios that were
Mhm.
higher power,
Yep.
and that is how they found their child.
Oh,
So
wow.
Wow.
for families that are going to be out in the woods, it's always good to include your children in those comms and stuff.
Yeah.
Great point.
Yeah. Awesome.
We've got Mike Fitzpatrick says he's a long time first time. Getting old, thinking
How's
about
it going, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
He's getting old. He's thinking about switching to a cot. Anything I should consider? Do I still need a pad?
Oh, definitely you're going to want a pad.
Yeah.
A cot without a pad, you're going to get a lot of cold convection through the bottom. Once you lay on top of your sleeping bag, you'll compress it. So you're definitely going to want a pad. The other thing I would say about cots is go big. Like the bigger the cot is, the more comfortable it is.
Yep.
So get, like a lot of times what they say is the standard size is not, you know, if you're a regular size guy, is not going to be real comfortable. So go with the XL model or something that's a good.
I like the XLs usually. Yep.
Yep.
And
yep.
Ironman 4x4's got some great cots that we offer here in
They
store as
do
well.
actually. Their cots are really cool.
Yep. What? Oh, is it dying?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think, gosh, we've been on at this
Yeah,
a
we got one
while,
more?
so yeah.
We'll handle one more.
You got
For
another
Lolo,
one?
we've got Bill Van Alstine. Hey Josh, just curious, how long does it usually take when you order an Ironman Stage 2 kit?
Really, with those kits right now, they're so popular. It depends on when you ordered it. Their website shows kind of when the next stock comes in, but when they have a sale, they sell out, and it usually takes a couple weeks for them to come back in. So on average, it can be as quick as next day or 2 to 3 weeks out.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up, but hopefully you pulled some stuff out of there, or you got some entertainment, and maybe even learned a few things. One thing I would like to do real quick is, Warren, can you come up here? I just really quick want everybody
This is
to
the shirt, by the way.
get to see you. So Warren's been back behind the camera feeding us your questions and everything. So join me in saying thank you to Warren. Awesome job. That was a huge
yeah.
help, man.
Thanks.
Totally.
Huge help.
It's great to meet all the live viewers.
Yep.
If you spend more than $100 at the site, this is the free shirt you're getting. Just email us your size and we'll get it to you.
And you're probably the one throwing the shirt in the box too.
Yes, building out the new warehouse.
So if you want his autograph, shoot us a little message and we'll throw that in the box as well.
Mike D, come up here real quick, my
Right
friend. So Mike D's been back behind the other camera kind of feeding us questions, but I just wanted to share real quick a little story that involves Mike, and I don't know if you really remember this or have any idea how kind of memorable this was to me, but 2 years ago, the last Coyote Works group overland trip, you know, I threw out typically, you know, like I had the year before that, I threw out my invite and said, hey, anybody who's interested in going on a camping trip with me, meet me in Brothers, Oregon at, you know, noon or whatever, and we'll all go off on a camping trip together. Well, the year before that, I'd had about 40 rigs or so on the trip, and so I was thinking, I'd probably get about the same, you know, maybe a few more or maybe a few less, and so I rolled into Brothers, Oregon, and by the time we left Brothers, Oregon, we had 102 vehicles in the lineup, and taking 102 vehicles on the trail and making sure that everybody makes their turn and everybody has communication and has an idea of what's going on is almost an insurmountable task when you haven't done it before, which was the position I was in. I'd never been out in the woods with a group that big. So there were a couple of people, there were a handful of people on that trip that really helped that all fit together. Mike was one of them. Mike was one of about 3 other guys who had good comms, had a good sense of organization, and were basically able to be like point people with me, and we staged each other out, we spaced each other out through the lineup. Because when you have 102 vehicles, that line is more than 2 miles long on the trail. So having comms from one end of that to the other with terrain features and everything in between is impossible. So just to give you guys a little background, that's where I met Mike. Mike came on that Coyote Works group overland trip and ended up really being instrumental in kind of holding that whole thing together. And we had, you know, nothing too major, but we had, you know, a vehicle breakdown. We had people missing a turn. We had, you know, several little kind of hiccups that we had to have. For me, it was super important to have guys that had cool heads, that could stay calm, that had good doctrine for communicating on the radio and everything. So awesome. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes on Mike. And
Anytime.
he's and you actually just happen to be down here working in Portland, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I'm a pipe fitter by trade, a welder, and so I'm working out at Intel, and so it just kind of worked out that I could come hang out with you guys and check out the Lolo shop. I mean, if you guys are anywhere remotely in the area, and it's a cool spot. You guys should come check it out. I usually just show up for the free beer, but
It's all right.
you know, I did buy a set of Max tracks to help pay for it. So
And Mike also is a member of the full-size overlanding
Oh,
group.
yeah.
So he's got, what's your rig?
so I run a 2015 Ram 2500 diesel, nicknamed Brutus. It's been in a couple of your trip videos,
It
or
has.
CK Knife and
Yep.
Tools, Chad's videos,
Yep.
and he's a big boy. But I'll take it anywhere a Jeep will go. I'll earn that pinstriping, that's for sure. So.
Yep. All right, well, that's it. I think you guys have met everyone that's here. And again, I just want to say thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And we're on the 2-week schedule for the summer. So we'll see you guys again for Camp Talk Live in another 2 weeks. Josh,
Thank
pleasure,
you.
my friend.
Always a pleasure.
Mike D,
Absolutely.
Daniel, my
Thanks, Mike.
brother.
Yep.
Glad to have
Warren,
you.
behind the camera, man.
Still here with a last minute super chat.
Awesome crew, man.
Last
awesome
minute super
crew.
chat.
Awesome.
All right.
Who is
Still
it?
here.
Who was
Still
it?
here.
Still
Still
here.
here.
I thought it was you.
Group shout out to still here.
Awesome.
You guys are rock stars, man. Yeah, I feel like I have the best audience ever. So really appreciated hanging out with you guys again, and I'll look forward to seeing y'all again on next Sunday, man.
Yep. Make sure to check out the new camplolo.com.
Coyote Works out. Disaster.
Microphone.